Thanks, Steve. Indianapolis, one of America's great sports towns, but racing in this city transcends sports. It becomes news and part of the fabric of the downtown landscape. Even non-racing fans know there's something special going on when NASCAR comes to town. A handful of guys trying to be the next big name. Could it be Peters or McCumbee? Almirola has a shot at, well, another. Johnny Sauter has been so close here before. They are all looking for a slice of what he has, the chance to rewrite the record books.
The winningest driver in series history takes home the win here at the Milwaukee Mile.
Hornaday will come to the start-finish line and win his second Elvis Trophy in Memphis.
Great job, Hornaday.
Hornaday will win again in Kentucky.
3 in a row for Ron Hornaday.
They call it the Crossroads of America. This weekend, X marks the spot in Indy. X also marks the spot where race fans place their blankets at this track. Some of them have been here for hours setting up camp for a Friday night social hour. They get so close to the action here, and so will you, beginning with the setup. Hello, everyone. Welcome to O'Reilly Raceway Park and the setup. I'm Krista Voda. Indianapolis Motor Speedway sits just about 10 miles east of where we are right now, and the drivers who will race there on Sunday, a majority of them started right here. We may not have a pagoda, but we have some of the best racing you will find. Let's go ahead and get you caught up on the news happening in the Camping World Truck Series. We begin with the big news from last week. Ron Hornaday, their team had the rear end housing taken away at Kentucky. Well, this week NASCAR handed out the punishment, and unfortunately, at least for the rest of the field, it did not include points. Instead, crew chief Rick Wren will do the time. He is on probation until the end of the year and will pay a $5,000 fine. While NASCAR's 2 other series implemented double file restarts this year, the Camping World Truck Series will not. Series director Wayne Otten informed the teams that restarts and pit stops, for that matter, will stay the same. Remember, here in the Truck Series, teams cannot change tires or add fuel on the same stop. Okay, so we have old rules, but we have a whole lot of new teams. If you're a regular viewer of the Truck Series, you're going to recognize, or actually not recognize, some names, a lot of new names. 7 new drivers in the field, but 5 entirely new teams. And as we like to say, welcome to our dysfunctional little family. Well, last week was an off weekend for the Sprint Cup teams. The trucks, though, were hard at work at Kentucky. The race started with a buzz about Ron Hornaday's rear end. The race ended with him kicking everyone else's.
The sparks will fly as we're under the lights from Kentucky Speedway.
From right front tire down on the Albertsons Toyota.
Yeah, quite a bit of damage too, Ray. Obviously made some pretty significant contact with the outside wall. See the damage to Stacy Compton's truck. Stacy had a great truck.
Caution on the track, issues for the 11 of TJ Bell.
TJ Bell's got right side issues. We saw the smoke coming out the right side.
Eichler began the process of passing before the start-finish line, so that's not allowed. He can't do what he did.
The 51 is being told you have to do a pass-through, otherwise they'll pull your scorecard.
And you can see crew chief Doug George, his blood pressure hit the chip.
How about this young kid, Taylor Malson, though? I'm telling you, how impressive has he been this entire season?
Moe got a crash. Terry Cook is sideways.
Terry Cook in the 25, trying to hang on. Now he slides down in front of another truck.
Gets clobbered by Brian Eichler.
Here he was 5 minutes ago.
Battling for the win.
Battling for the win of this race, and now with a tremendous amount of damage. Oh, Colin Brown with a lot of damage to that Conway Ford.
He gets turned around on his own.
On his own, looked like.
Oh, Taylor Malson gets sideways. Malson was running in 3rd. This could be the first repeat winner at Kentucky Speedway.
Skinner goes to the high side again.
Keeping the momentum up. Skinner in the gas. Hornaday coming out of turn number 4. Hornaday will win again in Kentucky.
3 in a row for Ron Hornaday.
Unbelievable. Hornaday added a 20-point insurance policy to his lead over Matt Crafton. David Starr only 3 points behind Brian Scott. Dennis Setzer is up into the top 10 this week. Colin Brown has fallen out. So how does anyone stop Hornaday? Adam Alexander is standing by with him.
43 career wins for driver 33, 19 of those on short track, so you got to feel at home tonight. But some extra meat on this sandwich because you're going for 4 in a row. It's never been done. So how does this truck stack up, Ron?
Oh, it's a brand new truck. Rick Renner and the guys done a great job on the VFW Chevrolet. I wasn't ready for it qualifying. It was a little free off, so that says it's going to be pretty good tonight. Got to get by them other guys in front of me, and we'll see what we can do.
His 23rd consecutive top 10 start here tonight. Krista, he rolls off 4th.
That's right, Adam. And, you know, if you take a look dissecting the top 2, Hornaday versus Crafton, you know, Crafton was the leader heading into Milwaukee, a 39-point lead. Since then, of course, that lead has disappeared. But as you can see, Crafton really hasn't had bad performances. That 16th place finish, his worst all season. It's just that Ron is winning everything. So what can Crafton do? Ray Dunlap is going to ask him.
Well, we got to figure it out, Krista, because you keep having really good finishes, but losing points to that 33. What do you guys got to do tonight to try to swip it around?
It's got to be in front of him at the end. I mean, we had a good week last week at Kentucky. I mean, we weren't that good, and we ended up getting something out of it, but still, the 33 truck beat us. I think we got a pretty good truck. Our Menards John Manville Chevy, I think it's pretty good. It was very good in the first practice, and the track changed a lot in the second practice, got hot and slippery, but I think we're going to be all right.
Okay, good luck to you. That is Matt Crafton. And guys, it is definitely cooling down here at ORP. I think we're going to see very different circumstances on the track tonight from what we had in practice.
And that means I cannot wait. You know, in Indianapolis, racing is synonymous with breathing. But, you know, it's not just that big track that takes your breath away. Here, the drivers starting to approach their trucks, get ready for the race. But the fans, they are getting ready for a race of their own. They're pulse racing. As we told you, this track puts the fans so close to the action. They are gearing up, and so are we. We keep the beat going here on Speed and the Setup. Stick around.
Still to come on the Setup, GOAT welcomes us to the farm. Ricky Carmichael shows why he's called the greatest of all time. Get caught up on the first half of the Truck Series season. And the Speed crew goes bowling for a good cause. Plus, short track racing from Indy when the Setup returns, only on Speed.
The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed is brought to you in part by Camping World. Visit Camping World for all of your truck, tire, and towing needs. It's part carnival, part family reunion. We don't know them, but they are ready with their signs. Those are some diehard Speed fans. Yes, that is right. It is live on Speed, and we are glad that all of them and all of you are ready for it. Welcome back to the Setup. You know, the vantage point, that vantage point that those fans have is what makes this track so unique. The Truck Series 2009 season is already halfway over, and something that is not unique is in just a dozen races, all of the great storylines we have already seen. Let's go ahead and get you caught up with a look back.
Here's your look back at the 2009 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series season so far. Rule changes forced teams to make 2 separate pit stops for fuel and tires. Todd Bodine won his 4th Super Speedway race in a row, but it wouldn't be Daytona without the big one. Kyle Busch dominated in California.
Awesome job.
And kept rolling right through Atlanta with his 4th Truck Series win at AMS. Rain postponed the first of 4 races this season in Martinsville, but when the sun came out, one Cup Series driver was celebrating, while another was sulking. We saw severe weather in the Midwest, but finally got to race on Monday. The rain returned, giving Mike Skinner the first win for Randy Moss Motorsports and the points lead. But the celebration was short-lived when the situation flipped in Charlotte. Teammates scuffled, but Ron Hornaday came away with the win. Rain forced the trucks to run a day late in Dover where tires were the main focus, until a first-time winner stole the show. The Onion got the cowboy hat in Texas, but Matt Crafton got the points lead for the first time ever. The defending champion lost his ride right before Michigan, but Timothy Peters moved over with sponsorship in tow. We had a few firsts and a 50th in the Irish Hills. Brian Eichler got his first pole, and Colin Brown got his first win, giving Jack Roush his 50th win in the Truck Series. But it wasn't records Brian Scott was breaking.
Oh, that hit hard.
He left Michigan with a broken wrist. Rain once again delayed us a day in Milwaukee, but Terry Cook eventually got his 300th start, and Ron Hornaday gave himself a 50th birthday present in the form of a trophy and the points lead. After sweating it out in Memphis, Hornaday picked up another Elvis trophy. And in Kentucky, Brian Scott scored his 3rd straight top 10 finish with a broken wrist. Ron Hornaday had his rear end housing taken by NASCAR, but still managed to win from the pole for the 2nd week in a row. And that's your 2009 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series mid-season update.
Woo, that guy talks faster than I do. Here are some of the numbers. Hornaday leads in most categories, including wins and laps led, but he will be the first to tell you he does not have this thing locked up. Adam Alexander is standing by with one of the other guys who has been in victory lane. And Adam, he has the best vantage point of all tonight.
Indeed he does, talking about Colin Brown. And if there were 2 words that describe the first half season for you, it would be up and down. A great start to the second half of the campaign on the pole. How do you take advantage of it tonight?
Well, you know, starting on the pole here is a big deal, I think. Having that clean air on your truck, even though it is a short track, is still really important, and that's something my guys on this number 6, Conway Freight True LTL, Ford F-150 have worked hard on. We worked hard on trying to get a good qualifying run in, and it definitely shows. Having Roush Yates built motors is a huge help, and it's pretty cool to be on the pole for Jack Roush's 700 start.
Driver 6 leading him to the green tonight, Ray.
Yeah, Mike Skinner always fast on the short tracks, and you won the first 2 times we raced here at ORP, but completely different trucks, different tires, different competition. So what's it going to take to win again tonight?
A truck like we have now, the truck's awfully good tonight. But, you know, it's funny, we went cup racing after those first couple years, and when I came back, it seemed like I forgot how to drive this place. But Eric Phillips has put us in a great Tundra, X-Side shining on the side of it, and we're just anxious to get going, Ray. I think we got a pretty good truck.
All right, good luck. Mike Skinner rolls off second, and X-Side says, start positive, stay positive. I'd keep my eye on that 5 truck tonight.
All right, thanks, Ray. You know, one of the greatest things about coming to Indy is all of the attention that's placed on NASCAR and its drivers. A guy named Jeff Gordon is a pretty big deal around here, especially to the thousands of kids at Riley Children's Hospital who he helps each year with his annual bowling tournament. Jeff was kind enough to invite our Speed broadcast team to be a part of this year's event.
Welcome to the 8th annual Jeff Gordon Foundation Bowling Tournament here in Indianapolis at Western Bowl. We support Riley Hospital for Children with this event. Very honored to support them, and after the event tonight, we'll have raised over $1.5 million through the 8 years that we've had this event.
All right, everybody in here. Secret number's 9. 1, 2, 3, 9!
Well, normally Phil Parsons is the best bowler in all of Speed TV land, but tonight he's having a brain cramp or something.
I need a lot of practice, obviously, and as anybody that witnessed my first game could tell, I need a lot of practice and didn't get it.
I may end up being high scorer, and if that happens, then the power may go off all over Indianapolis.
I know Jeff does an awful lot, and it's very, very near and dear to his heart, so we're just happy to be here to help support the event.
Having a ball. It's a good thing I don't bowl for a living because I'd be broke for sure. But it's a lot of fun. You know, Riley Children's Hospital here in Indy, and a lot of good people just having a good time. I definitely drive better than I bowl, that's for sure, but that's not saying a lot.
It is the closest to 179 without going over. Our team total through 9 frames is 64. So needless to say, we ain't gonna get there.
I have struggled, but Michael Waltrip has been strong this outing.
Oh, that stuff's awesome.
Yeah, you know, the Napa Burger King Domino's bowling ball's been really good tonight, but it hadn't let me down, so yeah, we had a pretty good night.
We had so much fun at that tournament. That was my little buddy Emily you saw with me there in that piece. If you would like more information or would like to join Jeff's cause helping kids like Emily, log on to jeffgordonfoundation.org for more information. As Jeff told us, his foundation has raised $1.5 million for Riley Children's Hospital. Very impressive indeed. Well, Michael Waltrip may not have made it to that event, but he did make it from the big track over here to join Rick Allen and Phil Parsons in the booth. And we do want to point out, Michael couldn't be there because he was appearing at another charity event in the Indianapolis area. But Rick, his sponsor plug still made it in.
Oh, yeah. We don't have any problem with sponsor plugs and, well, helping Michael out with those. But, Phil, what a great event. Obviously, that kind of kicks off the weekend here in Indianapolis.
It really was. And, you know, Jeff Gordon has done so much, as he mentioned, $1.5 million after last night's proceeds to the Riley Children's Hospital. And not only did he have a lot of racing people and racing people from the industry, but he had a lot of professional bowlers. Yeah. Doug Kent, Parker Bond, Jeff Albee was there. Mark Albee. What a great, great effort and a great turnout by the city of Indianapolis.
And, you know, the city gets all jazzed up about what's going to happen this weekend. Last night at Jeff's bowling tournament, the sprint cars were here last night. But tonight, business really picks up. We got the trucks at ORP, and this is big. This is a short track with big trucks, and they're all over each other. A lot of excitement and a lot of trading of paint here tonight.
Yeah, you talk about big. Obviously, right now, the biggest story has to be Ron Hornaday going for 4. Can he get that 4th win in a row?
Well, it's going to be very difficult. The competition is very, very strong here. Anything can happen on these short tracks. We've seen it happen so many times. But Ron Hornaday has won here before. He's won here a couple times in a nationwide car as well. So if you had to pick a favorite, he's certainly going to be the favorite. But there's a lot of guys that want to keep him from winning 4 in a row.
Well, if you watched Kentucky last week, don't put anything past Ron Hornaday. He didn't have the best truck at all, but he wound up with the trophy and the checkered flag for his 3rd win in a row. His heart is beating fast right now, thinking, I'm going to go out and win me 4 in a row. Never been done before. This is a chance for him to make history tonight.
That's right. The last person that won 3 in a row and was going for 4 in a row was Johnny Benson a year ago. But obviously, Johnny not in the field anymore this season. Krista?
All right, thanks, Rick. And yeah, we want to give you folks at home an update on Johnny Benson. Of course, he suffered injuries in a modified wreck in Michigan last month. We talked to Johnny. He is recovering nicely. He actually had surgery on his left shoulder on Monday. He will begin rehab on that shoulder and have the cast removed from his wrist next week. So we continue to wish him well. Of course, everyone here is getting ready for the big event tonight. That would be the Truck Series race here at O'Reilly Raceway Park. The fans are gearing up, so are the drivers. We'll be right back.
Got to trail brake it a little bit getting in, or I'm going to shoot up the track. 10-4, Ricky. You got a really good truck, bud. This would be a good opportunity right here. 3165, that's better.
Ricky Carmichael is a former winner at Indy, but that was on a motorcycle. Welcome back to O'Reilly Raceway Park. Some call it the Brickyard's little brother, and you know how mean and feisty little brothers can sometimes be. Well, Carmichael is still experiencing some NASCAR growing pains, but if last week was any indication, he may be taking the whole shot straight into the second half of the year. Carmichael coming off his season and career best finish at Kentucky last week. Recently, he opened up the doors of his property in Florida, took us along, and opened up to us in the process.
I call it the farm. Not really a farm, but my practice tracks. I have an outdoor track here and 2 supercross tracks. And now I have a little dirt track, oval track out there. But we've had some good times out here. A lot of sweat and a lot of gas has been burned out of here. There's no doubt about it. It's not all, done up and the nicest shot, but we got everything we need to get by. And we've won a lot of races out of here.
Little ritual, you always do that on a motorcycle because I'd rather you throw it on the ground than it be on your head and you hit the ground. I did that to my helmet at Daytona. They were like, "What are you doing?" I said, "It's my ritual, man."
And this is so much different than car racing because we're out here all the time during the week. Car racing, you don't get to practice. So this is where I would do all my practicing and training to prepare for the weekends.
I wouldn't say it comes back that quick. You lose it faster than it comes back.
It was Valentine's Day. I was 5 years old. My dad took me down to a local Yamaha dealership, actually, and I got a three-wheeler, Pee-wee three-wheeler. And started riding locally, around where we used to live. And one thing led to another. Ended up to have a great career.
The winner of the 2000 season will be number 4 RC Ricky Carmichael, his 3rd title in a row.
At the beginning of my professional career and towards the end, I was kind of always the guy that was supposed to do good. And luckily, for the most part, I did really good right out of the gate. I mean, I won a championship every single year. But it wasn't too much pressure. It really wasn't. But to be that guy, the face of that series, pretty neat, especially when you can look back and reflect on it.
Your winner, Richard Joseph Carmichael.
When it's actually happening at the moment, you're kind of like, that's cool, but you really don't realize it until it's done and gone. Motocross and supercross and NASCAR racing, mentally, to me, NASCAR's much harder. You're going fast, things are happening so fast, aero, tires are changing, so you're always thinking, and the next corner is always coming up so quick.
It's getting better, 100% sure. I just don't feel it's right on the exit.
Motorcycle racing, to me, mentally is simple. It's just like putting my shoes on, pretty much. But physically, there's no comparison, because your body was your engine. I can't tell you the amount of races that I've won because I was just in shape and not even really that fast.
You can't ride hard. Like, I couldn't give it that little bit, that squirt where you squirt. Yeah, you're surviving. Yeah.
I lack seat time, and everyone always says, we couldn't get on a motorcycle and do what you do, but the unfortunate thing for me is We ain't trying to race motorcycles or race a NASCAR, and I hate when people use that analogy because you're not comparing apples to apples.
His heart will always be on the bike, but now he makes a business out of racing a truck, and a career best last week at Kentucky. How do you capitalize on the momentum here tonight?
Well, with our good finish last weekend at Kentucky, we're not as good as I wanted it to be, but I'm pretty optimistic. I learned some things in practice, and I got to thank Monster Energy and Kevin Harvick for helping me and giving me this opportunity, and all my fans for sticking with me. We've had a great 3 weeks and consistently getting better, so didn't qualify where we want, but I think we'll be all right.
RC starts 18th tonight, Ray.
Well, Kyle Busch sitting on the wall over here. The big money is Sunday afternoon, but a lot of fun tonight here at ORP. But no one has ever won from back further than 8th, and you start 9th, so I guess you got to go for another record.
Well, I don't know what happened with everybody sitting around us. I don't know if you smell or what, but everybody just bailed when you got here, Ray. But no, you're right. We unfortunately we didn't qualify 8th, so we've got to set a new record here tonight. But you know, the Miccosukee Tundra was a handful in practice, man. We've been working on this thing, singing stuff everywhere. So we're trying, and Doug and the guys are really working hard, just trying to make the best of what we got here. And unfortunately, I don't foresee a win, but you know, maybe we can get a solid finish and try to keep up with the 33 somehow in the points, and you know, get back after them later on down the year. Maybe they'll have trouble.
Okay, that is Kyle Busch rolling off 9th tonight here at ORP.
All right, thanks, Ray. We're getting close to going green. The fans are probably on their second funnel cake by now. Yum, sounds good. Who will take the cake here at O'Reilly Raceway Park tonight? We will put the icing on the setup right after this.
Pull out your cowboy hat and dust off your six-string. The trucks are heading to Nashville. With no past winners in the field, who will be picking in Victory Lane next week? Catch the setup live at 7:30, followed by racing from Music City, USA. Only on Speed. Be there.
Music City next week, but there are still songs to be played here in Indy. Nationwide Series racing here at ORP tomorrow. Sprint drivers write another chapter Sunday at the Brickyard. They call it the Crossroads. Will Hornaday peel away? Can Kraft and Skinner or Bodine speed into the picture? We will be in Victory Lane waiting. The AAA Insurance 200 starts now.
Three championships.
Hornaday comes across close enough to secure the series championship.
Ron Hornaday wins the championship. Listen to that crew.
How about our champion, #1 in the points?
3 victories in a row.
The winningest driver in series history takes home the win here at the Milwaukee Mile.
Great job, Hornaday.
3 in a row for Ron Hornaday.
2009 could be the record-breaking year. Only an elite few have ever been so close.
3 in a row for Mike Skinner and the GM Goodwrench entry.
This is the first time that a man has won 3 in a row since Ron Hornaday did it in 1997.
Crossing the start-finish line, 3 in a row for Benson.
What has never been done in Truck Series history.
Ron Hornaday has been the dominant driver.
Ron Hornaday could change tonight.
Welcome to the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series AAA Insurance 200, presented on Speed by Valvoline. The magic number tonight, well, it was 3, but it could be 4 for Ron Hornaday. He has 3 championships. He's on his way to his 4th championship while leading in the points by 96 as we are at the halfway point of the 2009 season. For more of the stories on pit road, we've got to bring in 2 of the hardest workers on pit road, obviously Adam Alexander and Ray Dunlap. Now, one of the big stories, obviously, is can Ron Hornaday get that 4th championship? I think one thing we've got to think about is the fact that only before 3 times that Ron has won 3 in a row, Kyle Busch wasn't in the field. Let's go down to Adam for your story.
Well, you talk about Ron Hornaday, he certainly has momentum. Another driver in that category, Timothy Peters. Sometimes mid-season moves for a driver don't work out. For driver 17, it has. Since making the move to Red Horse Racing, he has finished in the top 10, 3 out of 4 races. He's coming off a career best last week at Kentucky, where he finished 4th, and he starts 6th here tonight. Ray?
You know, Adam, over the last 3 or 4 weeks, there's been a lot of speculation that the Camping World Truck Series would go to double file restarts, just the way the Sprint Cup Series has and the Nationwide Series has. But this weekend, Series Director Wayne Otten told all the competitors that is not going to happen in 2009, and we also anticipated that we would go back to the old pit road rules if we did go to double file restarts. That's not going to happen in 2009 either, for sure. And I have to tell you, from the drivers and crew chiefs down here, it's gotten somewhat of a cold reception.
It's going to heat up on the racetrack as we're getting ready to go down for our pre-race activities. Let's go trackside.
Invites you to rise as we welcome the U.S. Army Recruiting Battalion Metro North Recruiting Company, presenting our colors here this evening. Delivering tonight's invocation will be Jim Lanning, NASCAR Camping World Truck Series chaplain. At the conclusion of the invocation, please remain standing for our national anthem presented by Christina Woodrow from Crawfordsville, Indiana. Jim?
Let us pray. Our Father in heaven, we are truly grateful for this beautiful night here at O'Reilly Raceway Park. God, thank you for blessing us with this night. Father, we're looking forward to a great race. We ask your blessing upon it. We're thankful for the country that we have the freedom to do this. And God, I just pray for all our armed forces. I pray that you'll keep them all safe. And Lord, right now we pray for a safe race here. We pray you help each competitor to do their very best. So, Father, we're thankful to be here tonight. Most of all, Lord, I'm just thankful for Jesus Christ, for our faith in him. We can have eternal life and an abundant life. In his name I pray, amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
What a great crowd on hand for tonight's race. Short track racing once again for the Camping World Truck Series. Apache helicopters flying over the 8th Battalion, 229th Attack Helicopter Regiment. We're about to get things fired up here at O'Reilly Raceway Park. Stay with us. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed is presented to you by Valvoline. Valvoline is the only motor oil that guarantees your engine for up to 300,000 miles. Register at Valvoline.com. Brought to you by Camping World. Visit Camping World for all your truck, tire, and towing needs. And by Toyota. For the latest Toyota racing information, visit ToyotaRacing.com. Toyota, moving forward. Spectacular crowd on hand as the sun begins to set. here on O'Reilly Raceway Park. Under the lights once again for short track racing. Let's go back down to, well, near pit road for Krista Voda's Valvoline update.
Yeah, Rick, I've moved locations. One of our favorite things about this track is that the fans are so close to the action. So I came out to one of my favorite spots. I am on the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series logo just inside of turn 1. So much of the action is going to take place right in front of me tonight. But if you missed the setup, well, first of all, shame on you. But here is what you missed. Ron Hornaday's team, they were penalized for that rear end housing that was taken away in Kentucky, but they did not lose points. Crew Chief Rick Wren will be serving probation and a fine. Also, no double file restarts. Ray Dunlap just talked about that. The Truck Series will not have double file restarts. And a third note, a lot of new faces in this field tonight, not just new drivers, but new teams entirely. We have a great mix of newcomers, of guys trying to win their first race who've been in the series for a while, and guys like Ron Hornaday who's trying to write history and become the first 4-time winner. I love this track because all of these fans, they have their blankets out here. I've been down here waving to them in turn 1. They are in shape for a great show tonight, and so are you at home. Why? Because Rick, Phil, Michael, Ray, and Adam are giving you a front row seat. Rick?
Thanks a lot, Krista. Take a look at this crowd. A great situation here. A berm right here in turn number 1 where the trucks are marching in there.
Used to love watching races from that hill right there.
A lot of fans ready for a great race tonight. Let's get the engines fired up. Let's go down for the command.
Race fans, O'Reilly Raceway Park is pleased to welcome Terry Farias, President and CEO of AAA Hoosier Motor Club, who will bring us tonight's command.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
The engines are fired up. You heard in the command, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Caitlin Shaw will make her first start in the Camping World Truck Series tonight. Welcome back. AAA Insurance 200 presented on speed by Valvoline. About to get underway. The trucks are rolling down pit road and onto the racetrack. A great night. 77 degrees, just a slight breeze. Partly cloudy, but right now just wisps of clouds above us. Take a look at our starting grid. It'll roll across the bottom of the screen. Again, Colin Brown getting his second career pole. And here at O'Reilly Raceway Park, they've figured it out for Round Fenway Racing.
Yeah, they sure have. Look at this racetrack. A little less than 7/10 of a mile. Very, very flat corners. Progressive banking slightly. The top of the racetrack is the place to be. And look at the straightaways. They're from here to there.
and they're exactly the same length as well. So this track is pretty symmetrical. Both ends drive a whole lot alike. A lot of tracks you go to, even though it looks alike, you got to drive each end differently.
Take a look at our Valvoline race analysis. 35 trucks will start tonight. We see that pit window between 120 and 130. You think anybody's going to go that far?
Well, they could, but the pit strategy is going to be extremely important here. We have the new pit rules thrown in the mix as well.
We've got 5 new teams that are starting tonight. We want to take a speed spotlight and shine a light on some of those teams tonight. We begin with Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Rick. First ever start tonight for Rob Fuller in the Draco Springs truck. I'll tell you, Rob has been considered one of the best ever at going over the wall in the Sprint Cup Series, changing tires for years. But he wants to drive, and tonight he goes out in that 71 truck. Remember, the Fullers have won a lot of modified races over the year. Tonight, Rob's goal is just finish the race. Adam?
Caitlin Shaw also making her Camping World Truck Series debut here tonight at age 19. She is the second youngest female ever to drive the truck. She has an open wheel background, but she hopes this lays the foundation for a stock car future. Running select races throughout the remainder of 2009, she is hopeful enough money can be put together to run full-time next season. Bill?
Adam, I want to take a look at 22-year-old Tommy Joe Martins from Nashville, Tennessee. He's a normal competitor in the ASA Challenge Series. He really wants to use this Roush Fenway truck to take him and get him approved to run Nashville next week. He said that's the goal. Running well enough here so NASCAR will approve him to run Nashville, which is his home. Wants to do a few races he's really working towards next year. Would love to do a full schedule, and he will start in the 23rd position. Mikey.
Let's check out the number 27 truck here, Phil. Dwayne Bischoff. He's a 42-year-old local volunteer fireman from Dearborn County, Indiana. He's making his first start with his own team. And you say, how does the fireman get to race in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series? Where'd this come from? The last 3 years in ARCA's Truck Series, he's finished in the top 10 in points. So he's ready for tonight.
Another new team, 83, Brett driven by Brandon Duchere. He's a 25-year-old out of Winter Haven, Florida. We've got 4 onboards that you'll ride along with. The Monster onboard of Ricky Carmichael will start 18th. We'll ride along with him. The Valvoline onboard of Colin Brown starts on the pole, so we'll get a good view of what that looks like. Johnny Sauter will also carry one of our cameras. He starts 20th with the Camping World onboard. And in the 9th spot, it is Kyle Busch piloting that number 51 Toyota. Right on that.
You know, Rick, this coming Sunday will be Rick Crawford's 51st birthday, but when you look at his stats, ORP may be his favorite track. He got his last win here. I'm watching that 14 tonight. Adam?
Ray, tonight marks the 700th time the Roush Fenway organization has put a truck on track in the Camping World Truck Series. They have had a lot of success over the years. 50 victories and a championship. Carrying the colors tonight, one Colin Brown. He starts on the pole. He started in that same position 1 year ago in the Nationwide Series, finishing second right here at O'Reilly Raceway Park.
And he finished second to, let me think here, Kyle Busch in that race. And it was a pretty impressive performance by not only Colin Brown, but Kyle Busch. Take a look at Rick Crawford's statistics. His last 10 short track races. Average finish 6.6. He's consistent on these short tracks.
Well, anytime you can go on these short tracks and 7 out of 10 times get a top 5, you're gonna take that.
Absolutely, and you're gonna get a win here before too much longer.
Rick Crawford will start in the 7th spot. And again, no one has ever won this race starting deeper in the field than 8th. And Ron Hornaday will start this race in 4th tonight, going for 4 in a row. No one's ever done it before. Here's the finishes that people have done in their previous attempts. Third.
How close did they get? I mean, they were all over it, but it's never happened. And I know Ron Hornaday, he wants to make history here at ORP tonight.
He's got his name on every other record virtually in this series, so he wants to tag another record on to his resume in this truck series. Well, now Colin Brown and Mike Skinner, they are leading the field to the green flag.
You know, and usually the pole sitter's over here on the left, Phil, but you had the choice. As the pole sitter, your option, where do you want to start? Colin Brown picked the outside lane.
He said Mike Bean picked the outside lane as crew chief.
That's the fastest line, at least that's what Colin Brown thinks. They come out of turn number 4, green flag in the air. We're underway at O'Reilly Raceway Park.
Colin wanted to make sure he didn't have any problem when he got down to turn 1. Took off awful soon off turn 4. I'm sure NASCAR will look at that and see if he might have started too soon.
Got a great battle for second. Skinner and Hornaday. Now Skinner has the spot.
Skinner slides up the racetrack just behind the 6 of Colin Brown. Now looking to the bottom. Here comes Ron Hornaday. Side by side coming out of 4 on lap number 1.
Or if you're going to use the bottom of the racetrack, now's the time to do it when you have those tires fresh.
Colin got a jump, but still could not hold off Mike Skinner. Skinner's credited for leading the first lap. It was a virtual dead heat, but Skinner gets credit.
Mike Skinner has jumped out to the lead now as they go down the backstretch into 3 and 4. Here comes Ron Hornaday looking to the bottom of the racetrack on the inside of that 6 of Colin Brown.
Timothy Peters hangs in there in the 4th spot. Look at Hornaday down on the bottom of Colin Brown.
Nick Tucker in the 21 was posted as passing before he got to the start-finish line.
You can see Hornaday, he tried to take Colin's turn away from him. He got down there underneath of him, drove up in the center of the corner, made Colin hesitate a little bit, and took that spot away.
TJ Bell on the inside of that 16 of Brian Scott. You see Kyle Busch making his way up toward the front, the 51. He started 9th in this race.
Side-by-side battles all over the racetrack.
Short track racing, and we're seeing 2 wide already early on in this. Obviously, they're going to battle for position from the 1st spot all the way back to the 35th.
You know, I was talking to Mike Skinner before the race. I haven't heard him recently as optimistic as he was about this truck here tonight. He said he loves it, and it's going to be great, and wow, what a start. He spotted our pole sitter, Colin Brown, about 10 truck lengths by the time they got to turn 1. When they came back the next time, he was leading the race.
Todd Bodine on the bottom of Taylor Malsum, working their way through turns 3 and 4. That's a battle for the 8th spot. Again, Skinner now has about a 12 truck lead over Ron Hornaday out in front of the field. Colin Brown runs 3rd. Timothy Peters in the 17 is 4th, and Stacy Compton holding on to that 5th spot.
Remember, Mike Skinner won the first 2 races we ever had here back in 95 and 96, and then he said he felt like he forgot how to race here. Well, he's got it figured out now.
Oh, but we've got a lot of fun stuff that's going to go on between now and the end.
We have a lot of drama that will be built into this one. Matt Crafton second in the points on the inside of the 25 of Terry Cook.
Good battle for the 6th spot. Terry has it for now.
Yep, Taylor Molson lurking back there in that 81. What an impressive performance a week ago at Kentucky he put on. Short track racing, a little contact between the 14 and the 30. Take a look on the right side, just coming into your picture, right?
Wow, Todd did a great job. Rick just moved up, entering the corner. You know, Phil, you want to take the best angle you can approaching the corner. Rick needed to be over to the right a little bit more. Todd needed that in the space, too.
Todd did a great job keeping that truck out of the wall.
Butch Miller, former winner in this series, off the racetrack. Out in front, though, it's been Mike Skinner since the drop of the green. After he was able to put Colin Brown behind him, he is looking forward to maybe another win at O'Reilly Raceway Park. Sunday NASCAR race day rolls into Indianapolis, where defending race winner Jimmy Johnson and former Indy 500 winner Juan Pablo Montoya join us live to discuss what it's like to win at the historic Brickyard. NASCAR race day built by the Home Depot. Live coverage in Speed HD begins Sunday at 11 Eastern. Mike Skinner in 95 and 96 dominated both races, went on to victory lane. Could he do it again in 2009?
You know, Mike has opened up almost a 3-second lead on Ron Hornaday, but their lap times have been very, very close. It seems like it has stabilized, and right now Ron Hornaday is running just as fast as Mike Skinner. We have a great battle with a 51 and a 30. What's going on with Tom Bodine's race, Adam?
He said just like in practice, loose in and then tight under throttle. He had rallied up to 9th after starting in the 12th position, but driver 30 has now dropped back to 12th. And then there's the story on pole sitter Colin Brown. He finds himself riding in the 3rd position at this stage. He said he is sliding the nose tight in the center. A lot of work to be done on these trucks when they come down pit road for the first time later on.
And already Skinner is setting such a blistering pace. He has put quite a few trucks already a lap down. There's 24 still on the lead lap, but Skinner is really going after him.
Good battle here between Matt Crafton and Terry Cook. They've been running together for the last 15 laps, it seems like. That is a battle for 6th.
Crafton staying on the bottom of the racetrack. Terry Cook on the outside in the 25.
Looks like Crafton's close to making that pass. Kyle Busch has driven up on the outside of Todd Bodine. Look how tight it is out there.
Yeah, that's the way to make the pass. Looks like Matt Crafton is going to get Terry Cook. He is going to pull up in front of him. That's left of your screen. And it looks like Kyle Busch is going to get that spot from Todd Bodine.
Yeah, he dropped back to the 13th spot and has been trying to battle up, right?
And Rick, early on today in the first practice, Kyle said his truck was just chattering the tires so terrible. So they took the right front spindle off and completely changed the geometry on the front of that Miccosukee Toyota. But the problem was Kyle had to go over to the big track and practice at Indianapolis, so he wasn't able to get back in this truck and try out the changes that they made earlier. He told us in the pre-race he didn't think they were going to have a truck that would win. He just got around Bodine, but he said his truck's still chattering the right front and a good bit tight coming off the corners.
You can see the two distinct different lines there. Todd Bodine is all the way down about the apron, and Kyle Busch is up in the middle to the top of the racetrack. That's why race car drivers love this track, because you can mess around, and if your truck's tight, you might go up high and free it up, or go down low and do the same thing.
Todd's looking for grip because he knew that Kyle Busch was able to pass him on the bottom of the racetrack and then actually got him on the high side. So right now Todd Bodine says, I know my truck isn't good enough. I have to find some place that it'll run better.
And we've seen that different line. We saw the 88 of Matt Crafton running on the bottom of the racetrack. Skinner looks like he can run anywhere on the racetrack as he's putting on a dominant performance. Rick Wren trying to figure out how to get his driver up to the front. Tomorrow, the Outlaws return to speed for the Firecracker 100. It's the greatest show on dirt. Don't miss the World of Outlaws late model series from Lernerville. Tomorrow, 3:30 Eastern, only on Speed. Mike Skinner continuing to dominate, but the gap has closed just a bit. Hornaday just 1.8 seconds back. It was as high as 2.7.
Yeah, Hornaday's knocked about a second off that lead Mike Skinner has. But while we were away commercial break, Kyle Busch had a very close moment coming off turn number 4. He's going going by a lap truck. There's right there. That's Kyle Busch right there. The 51 Toyota onboard. Watch this now. He's trying to get by Terry Cook. Here's Tommy Joe Martins in the middle of the racetrack, and some pretty good contact.
In Tommy Joe's defense, he's just trying to get out of everybody's way.
Watch
he had one coming on the outside and one on the inside.
Listen to this. Bam.
He stayed in the gas. So Kyle Busch still trying to move back up after he dropped back to 13th on the restart. He runs 10th now. Chad McCumbee, obviously some problems. He's back in the garage area, as is the 89 of Jason Cochran, the 83 of Brandon DeShear, also off the track, and Nick Tucker went out early as well.
The latest truck to go a lap down, Rob Fuller. He's riding right now between Hornaday and Skinner, the only truck between those two. We got 22 trucks now in the lead lap.
Pretty good effort, though, for Rob. First time ever in a Camping World Truck Series truck.
TJ Bell on the inside of what we call a short track ace, Dennis Setzer.
A lot of people call him that.
Yeah. Matt Crafton slides up in front of that 17 of Timothy Peters. Crafton still trying to move forward. Runs 5th now as he took that spot away from Timothy.
You know, Matt Crafton's had a couple good weeks here, a couple top 5 finishes, and loses ground to Ron Hornaday.
It's so difficult. I'm guessing Ron Hornaday, though, still in a great position to make it 4 in a row. 4 wins in a row. It's never been done in the Truck Series. Mike Skinner was a name that was on that list who had won 3 in a row before, and right now he's trying to be the spoiler.
How do you think Skinner feels? He's like, I don't want somebody to break my record. I'm on that list, and right now it's all in my hands. I have control of this. If I keep that 33 truck behind me, he won't make any history tonight.
That's all he has to do.
That's
it
right.
sounds very simple.
Now, we talked earlier about the starting position being so important at this racetrack. No one has ever won starting further back than 8th. Michael, does the pit rules change that philosophy now?
Oh, I just love that, Rick. You're making a great point. You know, we've seen guys, we got trouble over in turn 4.
Problem in turn 4. It looks like it's Caitlin Shaw in the number 1. She gets into the wall, and our first caution comes out of the night.
Speaking of pit road, action's going to possibly pick up.
Things might heat up here a bit.
We've run 37 laps. I don't know that we'll see the trucks that are up front come down pit road, but I know probably the back half of the field of the trucks that are on the lead lap, I think, have to come to pit road.
Well, and just think about what Rick asked. Can these pit rules mix things up? Well, heck yeah. Remember Chad McCumbee out at California, Jason White up at Dover. They used a different pit strategy than the leaders to gain track position. Dennis Setzer at Milwaukee. You know how good he is. When he got that track position, he took advantage of it and ran 2nd up there. So you're liable to see some guys mix it up here, make their strategy be just gas, no tires, maybe 1 stop, maybe 2.
Watch Caitlin Shaw. You see her get sideways. She was on the inside of the racetrack, makes some contact with the outside wall.
Again, her goal was to finish this race. So I'm sure that's, if they can make some adjustments to the back of that truck, get her back out there, get her more seat time. Right now, it's all Mike Skinner, but he's got the restart master behind him.
It's Camping World's Destination Recreation.
You know, I can't get over the incredible diversity at every Camping World store, and right now I'm in an area called Tow Centers of America, and they have all the items you need for hitching or towing, plus they sell Goodyear tires. Now look at all these products. They've got just about everything from sway controls, brake controls, hitches, or receivers. Now Camping World has installed over 10,000 hitches, and between now and August 17th, you get 50% off installation on every hitch.
Welcome back to O'Reilly Raceway Park. The sun's setting here at this racetrack. Our Aaron's lucky dog,
Robbie Fuller. We talked about the fact he was between Hornaday and Skinner. Put him the first truck on a lap down.
His first race ever in the Truck Series, and he gets a free lap.
He's going to learn. He's going to feel the love from Aaron before this night's over.
Ray Dunlap.
Well, guys, we had a number of trucks come to pit road during that caution. Both the Red Horse teams came down, but Kyle Busch was one of the ones that needed a big change in his chassis. They took some air out of the right rear, made a track bar adjustment. He said he really had no lateral front dip, so they did a double dip there. They came in for tires the first time and back for fuel, so Kyle will be in a completely different cycle than all the guys that are at the front of the field. Adam?
And there were a number of guys in that situation, as you said, Ray. Pre-race contender Todd Bodine also came in at lap 39 and 40. 4 tires, fuel, and track bar adjustments along with air pressure, trying to make that 30 truck where it needs to be for the stretch 1.
And both Harris Trucking Toyotas came down pit road as well.
Mike Skinner in charge of the field now as they come out of turn number 4. He's back in the gas. We're back to racing.
I want to see now what Hornaday can do. He's been a little bit quicker than Skinner the last few laps.
Oh,
Goes right to the bottom.
Skinner way up the track, too.
Got the momentum, though, up off of 2.
Stretching out the lead as they go down the back stretch and into turn number 3. Let's see if Hornaday looks to the inside once again. Right on the back bumper of Mike Skinner as they come out of 4. Looks like Skinner's under control once again.
It is so difficult to make that pass on the bottom of the racetrack. It's a little bit flatter down there, and the guy on the outside has the momentum like we saw Mike Skinner have up off of turn number 2.
Oh, 2 and 3 wide here at O'Reilly Raceway Park. That's Eric Almirola in the 15 on the bottom of the racetrack. The 84 of Chris Fontaine right in the middle.
Oh, watch out.
A little contact there, maybe with the 14.
That's Rick Crawford out to your right there, Chris.
Everybody on their feet here at O'Reilly Raceway Park to watch that group come out of turn 4.
Look at how tight this is, Phil. This is a great view from Kyle Busch's truck. He's going to try to cut under Taylor. Taylor comes down the hill a little bit. You can't help but make contact. Dives hard into turn 3 and makes that pass.
Remember, 4 fresh tires for that 51 truck.
And you know, we're talking when Caitlin crashed about the strategy on pit road. There's already a lot of different agendas that are going to have to be played out here. Our leaders haven't pitted. Kyle Busch has. He's got tires. If his truck's better, he'll just get gas. Then does that force the hands of Hornaday and Skinner just to get gas to stay ahead of Kyle? Or do they come and get tires?
And I think all the guys that were comfortable with their trucks stayed out that time. They did not come to pit road. I think they would like to see this race go at least 80 or 90 laps before they come to pit road.
That's one thing about these new pit rules. You know, you can use pit road to your advantage. If you don't have track position, you can figure out a way to gain track position by what you do down on pit road. The crew chiefs have this deal figured out.
Take a look at these two trying to figure it out on the racetrack. Kyle Busch on the bottom of the track, Rick Crawford up on the high line. They stay side by side when they go across the stripe.
Watch this here. Watch this replay now. Look at them all. They just bounce around. They fishtail a little bit. 2 or 3 trucks got a little bit sideways up off of turn 4. And when you get sideways here at O'Reilly Raceway Park, that doesn't leave a lot of room for any other truck.
You fill up the track in a hurry, don't you? You saw that little move for Kyle Busch off turn 2. He made a normal move off turn 2. So did Taylor Mawson. But their paths crossed, and there was contact.
Saw a battle for 10th just a moment ago. Todd Bodine was able to take over that 10th position. There's Johnny Sauter, his Camping World on board, following David Starr in the Harris Trucking Toyota. James Busher, the 10 truck.
You can hear Sauter playing with the gas. You can't just mat it here. These things got so much power, enough power to spin them all the way down the straightaway if you try to do that.
There's 4th, 5th, and 6th on the left of your screen. Stacy Compton in the 60, Matt Crafton in the 88. An associate sponsor on that 51 and the 15 tonight. That's Red Top Auto Auction.
Remember now, the 60 and the 88 both stayed out there on the same tires they started the race with. We know Kyle Busch has 4 fresh tires.
But look at Crafton. He's all the way down on the bottom trying to make it work out.
Rick Crawford is going to follow along on the outside, get by that 88 of Matt Crafton, or at least try to get by Matt Crafton.
Ray Dunlap, what's happening with Stacy Compton?
Well, Rick, he's on the high side right now and fighting a little bit of a tight condition in that Safe Auto Toyota. But, you know, all the guys on the Weiler team tonight are wearing bracelets for a good friend of theirs named Joan Manning, who's a sergeant from the Miamisburg Police Department. That's over in western Ohio, and she has stage 3 cancer. They're trying to really raise some money to help Joan and her husband Joe. They've both been police officers for a number of years. And just to let everybody know, there's going to be a big fish fry coming up at the Embeds post number 99 over in Vandalia. They want everybody to come out and help support Joan, who's a real good friend of this Weiler racing team. Stacy losing a position on the racetrack right now to Todd Bodine. Adam?
Rick Crawford, one of the former winners here at O'Reilly Raceway Park in the field tonight, finds himself in the top 10. He said on that first run of the night, tight but getting better. His biggest concern, low voltage. Keep your eye on the 14.
So maybe an issue for Rick Crawford in that 14. He's running 5th now. Crafton just behind him. Again, Crafton 2nd in the point standings coming into this race. 96 points behind Hornaday. Hornaday running 2nd to Mike Skinner. Skinner has led all 55 laps here at O'Reilly Raceway Park. down the backstretch, side by side. Here goes Hornaday for the lead. He takes it away from Mike Skinner as they go into 3 and 4.
It was the old slide job right there.
And here comes Colin Brown. He makes the pass on Skinner. He moves to second. Hornaday in front of the field at O'Reilly Raceway Park.
Man, Skinner's truck went away in a hurry, didn't it?
Sure did.
He was motoring right along, and in 3 or 4 laps, he lost all his momentum and the lead.
Guess who's in fourth? Kyle Busch running in that number 51.
One of the trucks that has been on pit road. It's the plot thickens. What will Kyle Busch do? Knowing how important those tires were, he didn't have a truck he could drive through the field with before he changed. Will he have to pit and get tires? Now that he's made it all the way to the front, I bet he does. I bet he does what the leaders do.
Now he has the option. Now he's back in sync. He's already up to fourth, and I would look to see him maybe even challenge these top 3 positions too.
Definitely going to get Skinner. He's already caught him. Skinner's truck, I'm confused about how quickly. It was a great truck on the short run, but on the long haul, it certainly has gone away.
Skinner driven away from him, Rick.
Yeah, Skinner led the first 61 laps, and then Hornaday, with an impressive pass, got by him. And Colin Brown also went by that 5 of Mike Skinner, and now the 51 of Kyle Busch is trying to make the pass on Skinner.
You might think he has a flat tire or has the tire going down, because he's been running consistently about 23.6 seconds. Last 2 or 3 laps, the best he could run is 24 teens. That's a big difference. Half a second, and the truck just doesn't do that unless something's gone wrong with it.
It's hard to believe that a truck will lose a half a second that quickly.
A lot of congestion on the racetrack. 47 of Wayne Edwards off the track now, as well as the 00 of Tim Bainey Jr. Here's a battle for the 9th spot. Stacy Compton in front of that 81 of Taylor Molson.
Several of the trucks that have got in front of Stacy Compton were some of the trucks that were on pit road back on lap 39 and 40 and have fresh tires.
Jason White, you know how strong he was in practice earlier today. Top 5 in both of them. He's made his way from a qualifying effort that I know he wasn't happy with up to 13th spot. Rebounding nicely. This battle's been interesting.
Yeah, because the 4 of Ricky Carmichael continues to peak in the middle.
He likes the middle.
I don't understand. There's not a whole lot of future there.
When Eric Almirola has to go somewhere when he comes off the corner. We talk about how narrow this track is. He has to go somewhere. Now he has a shot to stay on the inside because Eric Almirola and Terry Cook are not side by side.
You drivers always talk about if there's a gap in front of one truck, that one must be slowing the rest down. Well, there was that gap in front of the 25 of Terry Cook, but for some reason, Eric Almirola or Ricky Carmichael can't get by him.
I think Carmichael's, he's been on pit road. I think he'll make short work of Terry when he gets there. Just like Todd just made short work of Mike Skinner. That's been one of the faster trucks the last 10 or 15 laps. Tom Bodine, he's done the same thing Kyle Busch has done. He pitted and he's driven up through the field.
Did Mike Skinner abuse the tires too hard, too quick in this race?
I don't see it. I mean, he was running basically the same lap times as Ron Hornaday. They were just separated. Even Hornaday closed in on him. I think his truck just maybe was set up with air pressures to run a little bit better on the shorter haul maybe, or he could have a slow leak in a tire, but that truck has definitely fallen off the pace.
He looked a little bit loose that last time up off of turn number 2. He has fallen back now over 4 seconds behind the leader, Ron Hornaday.
In about 5 laps. I mean, 5 or 6 laps.
Yep. Colin Brown has been able to stay right with Ron Hornaday. As you can see, that lap actually a little bit faster than Hornaday, about 1/10 of a second.
They're going to have company.
Those two trying to pull away. The problem is Kyle Busch is running strong and closing the gap between he and second.
Kyle Bodine has a very fast truck as well. He was actually the fastest truck on the racetrack this last lap.
Ray Dunlap.
Ron Hornaday is going to need a little bit of air pressure adjustment on the next stop for him. He said to Rick, man, I can be freer everywhere. So they're going to do that on the right front, go down a little bit on air pressure, and maybe make a track bar change too. But right now, Hornaday just a little bit tight, rolling through the center. Now let's check back in with Adam.
Tight has also been the word describing the man running right behind driver 33, talking about Colin Brown, but he has continued to say, it's coming to me, and the lap tracker would indicate that. His times have been very, very consistent, Ray.
On the number 51, he has said that he likes the front end of his truck now. It's much better after they made that adjustment on lap 39, but he said the truck still feels a bit like it's on top of the racetrack. So on the next pit stop, they'll work on air pressure on the left rear tire. Adam?
Todd Bodine very dissatisfied in the early laps here tonight after starting in the 12th position. He actually dropped a little farther back in the running order than that, but they came to pit road, lap 39 and 40, made an adjustment, got some fuel. He is much better now up to the 4th position. I just talked to his crew chief, Mike Hillman Jr., and he said, no doubt about it, we will be back on pit road for fuel, and we will probably have to get tires again. Ray?
And Skinner's truck is good on the entry, Adam, but he just can't roll through the center. He says he feels like maybe something is dragging on the front of the splitter, so they'll check that whenever they come in for the first round of pit stops. Back to you, Adam.
And confidence, no problem for Rick Crawford when it comes to short tracks. We talked before tonight's race about how consistent he has been in the last 10 races at these kinds of facilities. But at ORP, in the last 5 races, no one has scored more points than driver 14. He's flexing his muscles again tonight, Ray.
And Adam, joking around a little bit with Matt Crafton before the start of the race about how they've been running so well week in and week out, but still losing points to Hornaday. He said, Ray, we're only at the halfway point of the season, and we're not even thinking about that. We're realizing it takes 25 races, and if we get consistent finishes each and every week, somewhere along the line, hopefully, Hornaday in the 33 group will have an error. Adam?
How about David Starr, 11th or better in 5 of the last 6 races, and a solid run here tonight, despite the fact that they struggled out of the gate. He had no forward bite. He was tight in the center on that first run. But Jason Miller, the crew chief, didn't panic. They brought him to pit road at lap 39 and 40. A little wedge, a little air pressure, and the 24 coming to life, guys.
Thank you so much, Adam and Ray. And we are getting a little bit hotter up front. Hornaday, Colin Brown, and Kyle Busch now all separated by 0.8 of a second.
Kyle Busch had closed up and actually got beside Colin Brown, but he made a slip down in turn 1, lost 6-8 truck lengths from him, and Todd Bodine just consistently puts up the fastest laps on the track as he's closing in on the lead trio.
You know, the big advantage that you get from new tires is most when they're brand new. And at some point you would think they will level off some, but you know, when these guys are going to have to put 40 more laps on their tires when we get down towards halfway, then I think that's maybe when you see if those tires really fall off hard, maybe like Mike Skinner's already have, and those guys that put tires on at lap 39 and 40 go towards the front, even more so.
Ron Hornaday now with an almost half-second lead over Colin Brown. Could he make it 4 in a row? Well, he's closing in on it tonight. Attention all you Digger fans, now you can get Digger on your computer and get free Digger videos, wallpapers, games, and more. Visit digger.ask.com today. Take a look at this. Kyle Busch now to the inside of Ron Hornaday. Hornaday trying to hold him off.
Kyle Busch already got by Colin Brown during our commercial break, and he's gone after Ron Hornaday.
He gets down on the inside of Hornaday. He'll try to use that 8 truck of Dennis Setzer as a pick so that Hornaday can't rally back on the outside. Try to get under them both, I bet.
Kyle has been able to run way down on the bottom of the racetrack. Now he's door to door with Hornaday. Across the stripe, Hornaday just 79/1000ths in front of Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch trying to finish the pass now as they go through 1 and 2.
And remember, Dennis Setzer does not want these guys to get by him now. That will put him 1 lap down.
Dennis Setzer racing hard just in front of that 33 of Hornaday. Hornaday still holding on to the lead.
See Colin Brown, Todd Bodine, 3rd and 4th right there behind him.
The last 3 races Ron Hornaday has won. Kyle Busch was not in the field. Now Kyle Busch all over the back bumper, goes to the outside of that 33, trying to make the pass on the outside down the backstretch.
Whoa, Hornaday drove her down into 3, didn't he?
Sure did. Dove in there on the inside of Setzer. Now look at Kyle Busch go all the way to the grass.
Setzer rallies back on the outside.
It was difficult for Hornaday to get by Setzer. Let's see how much problems the 51 has. It looks as though Kyle Busch is going to be able to make the pass on Dennis Setzer and keep his sights on that 33 of Hornaday.
He is going to be able to clear. Dennis Setzer, now he's going to take off after that 33 VFW Chevrolet.
James Busher lays up ahead of these two, and Dennis Setzer's thinking in his mind, you guys mix it up a little bit. Get side by side, race each other, leave Busher alone. That way, I will get the Aaron's lucky dog.
Closing in.
Oh, we got a problem for Jason White.
Jason White smoking on the front stretch. That brings out our second caution of the night. Richard Harriman and Chris Jones both in the garage early. So our second caution has come out. It's Jason White. It is heating up front. Hornaday and Kyle Busch running 1 and 2. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. AAA Insurance 200 presented on speed by Valvoline. You see work being done to the 81. While the 23 was smoking on the front stretch, the 81 blew the right front tire. Sparks were flying from under that truck.
You can see the casing, actually the carcass comes off that tire.
He was under caution, and he got really lucky, Phil. When Jason White had his problem, they slowed down, and he blew a right front tire. You could see the right side of that truck was clean. He kept it out of the outside wall.
Here comes the field onto a very tight and short pit road. Adam Alexander.
A great qualifying run earlier today for Colin Brown. He has backed it up in the race. He has never been outside the top 3. He the first of the top 4 to hit his marks on this cycle of pit stops, 4 tires and fuel, and he will get air pressure to help what has been a tight handling race truck. Todd Bodine on pit road for the second time tonight. They will adjust the track bar like they did the first time to help him. He's loose. Ray?
Adam down at the front end. Similar strategies for both Kyle Busch and Ron Hornaday. Air pressure adjustments. They'll do 4 tires on this first stop and come back for fuel. The rest of the field on their way down pit road. It's going to be tight on the exit. It'll be Hornaday first, Kyle Busch second, and then there goes Setzer.
Setzer's team maybe trying a little pit strategy.
Remember, he came in with the leaders, but he is now our Aaron's lucky dog, so he will have to go all the way back around, start from the tail end of the longest line. But with under new pit rules, they all pit together.
Oh, Kyle Busch, they're all racing to pit road on the back straightaway, and Kyle Busch actually locked his tires up, sliding to the pit road speed line.
So if he put 4 tires on, he may have flat spotted his tires.
It's very possible. He slid them for a good 10-15 feet.
Adam Alexander.
Colin Brown coming back down. They will fuel the race truck. We told you he is tight. They made air pressure when they changed tires. They will give him a little bit of a wedge adjustment to make sure he is good to go, and they are good from here on fuel. Todd Bodine also on pit road. He will make his stop, get a slight track bar adjustment. They will also top off the fuel tank. You see that happening bottom of your screen, Ray.
A little tug on the front fenders on the 51. They said make sure you clear off the front grille. They'll have to go a little bit into the second can of fuel. Kyle Busch is going to get out. It'll be Hornaday getting stalled a little bit on the fuel system here, so Hornaday is going to go out about 4th onto the racetrack.
Kyle Busch wins the second race off of pit road. It looks like Todd Bodine's going to be behind him on the restart. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed is presented to you by Valvoline. Valvoline is the only motor oil that guarantees your engine for up to 300,000 miles. Register at Valvoline.com. Brought to you in part by Just for Men. Stay in the game with Just for Men hair color. And by Ford. Different is good. Drive the Ford difference at your local Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer. Few penalties handed out on pit road. 14, 13, and 84 were all penalized for too fast entering.
Yeah, Johnny Sauter had an incredible pit stop, picked up 5 spots on pit road, but I know where he got maybe 1 or 2 of them. He came in too fast.
How'd he do, Adam?
Yeah, and this is one of those things you hate, because this is a race team that has really struggled on pit road throughout the year. On the nights where Johnny has been in contention, he has lost some positions, costing him an opportunity for a great finish. Tonight, the pit crew thought they did their job, and unfortunately, as Rick just reported, too fast entering. Johnny will incur the penalty and lose a bunch of the track position that he picked up on pit road, right?
And Adam, with those pit stops happening where they did, and with a little bit more caution right here, everybody should be fine in their fuel window. But for the 30-30 team, they're going to be right on that edge because they're not quite sure exactly how much fuel they got in that truck right now. They've got the fuel cans on the scale, and Rick Wren is telling him, be careful here, save me a little bit of fuel. They went in to go get into that second can just a little bit. They told Hornaday, hold on, and then that's why they lost a couple of positions on pit road. So Hornaday comes in the front, goes out 4th, but they're going to find out here shortly just exactly how much fuel they got in that truck.
Yeah, and it looked like there was a miscommunication. Ron started to go, and they didn't have the second can in it yet.
Well, Big Block Thursday on speed. 3 big hours of races, chases, and crashes. First at 8, it's Pinks all out. Then at 9 on Jack, an unexpected surprise forces the entire unit to scramble in hot pursuit. And at 10 on Wreck, the vicious windstorm wreaks havoc in Chicago. It's Big Block Thursday on speed. Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
How cool is that, Phil? A little Friday night racing action down there in turn 1, setting up on the bank, watching those trucks come storming at you.
Yeah,
we saw 2 or 3 guys already sideways and into the wall down there.
Remember now, we're just about halfway in this race. You can see the halfway signal right here. Several of these trucks now that stayed out on that lap 39, lap 40 caution have an extra set of tires if they need them. We know Kyle Busch now has put both his sets of tires, as well as Todd Bodine. We know that some people like Colin Brown, Ron Hornaday have another set laid up in the pits.
How important is track position as opposed to fresh tires?
Well, we saw in just some 50 laps, Kyle Busch and those guys that had the fresh tires drove
to the front,
and they pitted on lap 40. So that means they had 90 laps on the other guys had 90 laps on their tires. We're going to have just over 90 here as we march toward this checkered flag. A caution at the right time. If it falls around lap 130 or 40 or 50, Hornaday and those guys might decide they need to come in and get those tires so they can go chase down Kyle Busch.
They have the option to do that right now. Kyle Busch, Todd Bodine have no option. They don't have any tires left in the pits.
Amazingly enough, the 4 laps that Kyle Busch has led under caution are the first 4 laps he has ever led in a truck at O'Reilly Raceway Park. Kyle Busch brings the field out of turn number 4. Right on his back bumper, Todd Bodine, Ron Hornaday, Colin Brown, and Timothy Peters. Green flag back in the air.
Nice job by Kyle Busch. Look at Ron Hornaday, jumps to the inside of Todd Bodine.
And just relies on Eric Almirola to give him enough room. 3 wide down into turn 3. Oh, he's going to hit it
Contacts up, hits Todd Bodine on the left rear quarter panel, but he stays in that 3rd spot. Down the front stretch they go, the battle continuing. Colin Brown just behind that 33, Ron Hornaday. Again, Hornaday trying to make history in the Truck Series. No one has ever won 4 races in a row.
Colin Brown's been extremely fast tonight. Set on the pole, and as the race wore on, he got on up into 60, 70 laps on his tires. He was one of the faster trucks on the older tires.
He was right there with him the entire night.
And Colin Brown, his 2nd career pole, coming earlier. After starting on the pole, now he's running in the 4th spot.
Look at this wad of trucks right here now.
I knew it was a wad or a gaggle.
It's both. Rick Crawford trying to get by the 16 of Brian Scott.
That's for 15th.
Look from Johnny Sauter's on board.
Those 2 remain side by side. Brian Scott in the 16 on the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Johnny Sauter now in that 13. Again, he had to come back down on pit road because of a speeding violation.
Starts him at the tail end of the field. So we've got 18 trucks on the lead lap right now, Rick. So he's been able to get through a couple of them.
Rob Bischoff went off the racetrack moments ago. Richard Harriman also off the racetrack.
Rob Fuller, I think, is accomplishing just what he'd hoped to tonight, Phil. He's just been sort of out there, logging laps, running very competitively, not in anyone's way, and learning a lot.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity for the first time in a Camping World truck.
Take a look at this for 3rd. Colin Brown just behind that 33.
He has designs maybe on that spot, it looks like.
He sure wants it. It looks like Hornaday really kind of cruising right now. Hasn't put a charge on anyone in front of him. Todd Bodine running 2nd.
I think Hornaday's going as fast as he possibly can.
Probably not cruising.
No, I don't think so.
He's racing.
I've never seen him do that. I'd like to figure out when he does it. The problem I think he has is maybe the thing's a little bit tight. He's going up a little bit higher than the truck's chasing. And look at the guy riding behind these two, Eric Almirola. We've seen him put together a couple of top 5 finishes. Now he finds himself a lap down. That's not normal for that team, and he wants to make sure he gets it back.
Yeah, great position right now to get the Aaron's Lucky Dog if the caution were to come out.
Adam Alexander.
Phil and Michael talk so much on our broadcast about the importance of momentum in racing. Ricky Carmichael coming off that career best a week ago at Kentucky, running as good here tonight, and that despite the fact he's in a race truck that was loose all day in practice, he was really scratching his head when this race got underway, but they have adjusted on it. The driver learning as he goes. A great pit stop when they came down at laps 95 and 96, and here he is running in 7th place again. Very impressive for the rookie.
You know, I think Eric Almirola right now is a victim of not pitting on that 39-40 lap caution, and he didn't have the track position, had just gotten a lap down. He has a very, very good truck as we watch Ricky Carmichael with another great effort. You can see Ricky right there on the left side of your screen here. Had to get a little bit of an extra tug on that steering wheel.
Let's check out how Ricky goes about this. Racing on 2 wheels his whole life, sitting there running in the 7th position, coming off a career best finish. Confidence and momentum is gaining. He's sideways, though, every lap, Phil.
Remember, we talked to him during the qualifying show. He was really struggling in practice. His truck was doing one thing. His teammate Ron Hornaday's truck was doing the other. Looks like they really have helped this Ford truck, though.
Kyle Busch, take a look at how Kyle does on a lap around O'Reilly Raceway Park.
You saw the effort it took for Ricky to keep his truck going straight. He's running 7th. Kyle looks like things are pretty well under control.
It looks like he's under a caution right now.
Check it out.
Yeah, that's smooth sailing up front.
I saw him over at Red Rocks. He pulled up in a Lexus. It looks like that's what he's driving right now. Just cruising right along in his Lexus.
Kyle may not be that smooth on a motorcycle like Ricky Carmichael.
Hey, no, you're not comparing apples to apples.
That's right. That's right.
Said.
Oranges to oranges, maybe.
But look what's coming too. He's getting ready to have some company. He might have to pick up the pace a little bit. He might really be cruising, saving some tires right now, Rick.
Todd Bodine ran the fastest lap just moments ago, so he's closing the gap between he and Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch continuing to lead at O'Reilly Raceway Park. Scene Daily and SpeedTV.com have teamed up to form the most powerful online news source in NASCAR. Visit SpeedTV.com now for in-depth analysis, breaking news, and more. Under the lights at O'Reilly Raceway Park, and it's still Kyle Busch in front of Todd Bodine, about 0.8 of a second. Separate 1 and 2. Ron Hornaday's had his hands full with Colin Brown right behind him.
Todd Bodine just consistently clipping off the fastest laps on the track, but I think this 6th truck, if he can never figure out a way around Hornaday, is going to have something to say about who's going to lead this race.
Yeah, and I just wonder what's going to happen if the caution flag were to come out anytime soon. Ron Hornaday has another set of tires as well as Colin Brown. Obviously, he can't quite stay up with that 51 truck right now, Kyle Busch. Will he come to pit road, give up the track position for those new tires?
Well, he doesn't want the caution flag to fly right now, I think, but he doesn't want it to fly much past 150 because it'll take too long for him to rebound.
Yeah, so I think any time in about the next 20 laps, I think he would like to see that caution.
And he'll come get tires.
Yeah, I think he might.
Ron Hornaday just running right in front of Colin Brown. What's happening with the team, Ray?
Well, Rick, I talked with Rick Wren, the crew chief, about this particular truck. The one they brought tonight is a brand new chassis, never been raced. They used it to test tires at Bristol just a few weeks ago, but I thought for sure they'd bring truck number 27. It's the one they used to win at Memphis and Milwaukee. But what Rick Wren told me was they need to get a notebook on this particular truck because they may need it in the fold throughout the course of the end of the year. And with a 96-point lead, now is a great time to try to bring a new truck and get a little bit of information on it. And we've got a great battle at the front of the field. Here goes Todd Bodine looking for the lead.
Todd Bodine looks to the inside of that 51 of Kyle Busch. It was 0.8 of a second that separated these two. Now 0.2 of a second at best, and they're going to be door to door when they come out on the front stretch.
Remember, a 17-time winner in the series, Todd Bodine, never on a short track.
I think that's a misprint. Are you sure he's never won? How can he not win on a short track?
Look at that. 5 times he's finished second. Never to victory lane.
Last time Bodine finished second was on a short track at Bristol, and, well, Kyle Busch won that race.
Yeah, maybe the guy driving that 51.
That's right.
Look at there, cutting to the bottom of the racetrack, all the way down to the grass, trying to get a bite to get around Kyle Busch.
Gap stays the same, about a truck length between Kyle Busch and Todd Bodine.
Man,
right, Dunlap, how's our leader doing?
Well, here's what happened, Rick. Kyle Busch turned on the front blower fans to try to cool off the bead a little bit on his front tires, and it got him really, really loose. So now he's switched them back off, but that's why he's lost a good bit of time on the racetrack. He was experimenting a little bit with the truck, and now Todd Bodine has caught him. Let's check back in at the other end of pit road with Adam.
And in some situations, Ray, you simply cannot hide your talent. I'm talking about left side of your screen, Taylor Malsom. He is 10th. You remember when Jason White had his problems a handful of laps ago under that caution? Taylor had cut down a right front tire. He pitted 3 times, restarted 16th, and here he is again, surfacing at the front. He leads the rookie points. It is no mistake. This kid understands how to get it done.
Taylor Malsom back up into the top 10. He definitely is showing his talent. Take a look at the talent between these two. Kyle Busch just in front of Todd Bodine. Bodine still trying to find a way to get by that 51.
That is so awesome watching those guys trying to battle for that lead. What a great job Todd Bodine's done marching through the field. Kyle Busch, most of these guys didn't qualify up front.
Remember how calm and cool he was driving that thing? Let's see if he's have to hammer that thing a little bit harder since Todd's on his rear bumper. So far, he's looking pretty smooth.
Uh-oh.
Here comes Todd looking to the inside.
Look over there. There's Todd.
Door to door once again across the start-finish line. Bodine on the inside, way down at the bottom of the racetrack. Kyle Busch up high. Can Bodine make the pass? They go down the backstretch, side by side again.
Just hard to get that bite from the bottom of the racetrack. Todd couldn't quite do it. Kyle kept the momentum up on the top side.
68 laps of racing remaining here at O'Reilly Raceway Park.
This is why these stands are full. Look at all the people here watching these trucks battle, and this is why it's always fun and intense.
On their feet, cheering on Todd Bodine, cheering on Kyle Busch. We love seeing great side-by-side racing in the truck series.
I don't think they're cheering for both of them.
I think there was some cheering for Kyle.
One or the other. One or the other.
Some cheering for Kyle. Well, they're cheering for both because they want to see a great race. And they're seeing just that tonight. Adam Alexander.
And for Todd Bodine, this is great because the truck was not good throughout the day, and this has been a blue-collar outing for the Germain Racing Bunch. You see the guy left of your screen, Mike Hilton Jr. He has orchestrated the changes that have gotten Todd Bodine in position for his first ever short track win in Truck Series history. His numbers at ORP, not good. 6th, his best ever finish, no laps led, but he is knocking on the door tonight, Ray.
And Jeff Dickerson is on the spotter stand for the 51 of Kyle Busch, and he said, you hold that high line, and there's no way the 30's going to get under you. He said the momentum coming off the corner gives you every lap where you want to be. Stay on the high side, let him be down at the bottom all he wants.
Kyle Busch keeping the momentum up on the top of the racetrack.
I think that Todd might have to say eventually, let me just roll in here behind him for a little bit. I'm using my tires maybe a little bit more than I want to down here trying to cut this bottom. Might be time to roll in behind him, but you know, we talked about Ron Hornaday on cruise control. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever seen Todd go down on cruise control either.
Well, Kyle Busch right now running, and maybe Todd Bodine biding his time until they can get to some slower lap traffic that he can use as a pick, maybe a block for Kyle Busch.
Well, I think right now Todd Bodine wants to be beside Kyle Busch. If Kyle was to ever slip for the slightest second, he would have that spot, and I think he wants to be in position to do that. He knows if he can get out front, it would be very difficult to Kyle to get by him.
And while these two have been battling for the lead, just behind him in 3rd and 4th, Ron Hornaday and Colin Brown have caught them.
And here comes his consistent one, Matt Crafton. He's in the top 5.
Here it goes again. The battle for the lead. Todd Bodine on the inside. Kyle Busch in that 51 out in front.
Now that Ron Hornaday has caught these two, I don't think we're going to see him maybe come to pit road if the caution were to come out. And I'm telling you, after about another 10 or 15 laps, I think it's going to be too late, Michael, to come to pit road if the caution comes out.
Well, you can't give up that much track position to these trucks that have surfaced at the front late in the going. You know they've got solid trucks. They're not going to be battling with a whole lot of traffic. I don't think they can either. I agree, Phil.
18 still on the lead lap. Kyle Busch, Todd Bodine, Ron Hornaday, 1, 2, 3.
Todd gets a little bit sideways down on the bottom. You can't do that too many times. Your tires will heat up.
He's got to be very careful right now, because if he doesn't get up here and get this pass, look at Hornaday. He's going to close that gap there and try to pinch Todd down to the bottom and try to take over that second spot.
Kyle Busch holding Todd Bodine down on the bottom of the racetrack.
I think Todd was being smooth and consistent, keeping that thing aimed straight until Hornaday showed up on his tailgate. Then he said, I got to push it a little bit, and when he pushed it, he got sideways.
Kyle Busch, Todd Bodine, Ron Hornaday, Colin Brown, your top 4 right there on the screen all together.
Looks like Todd's a little bit better up off of 4 than he is up off of 2. He loses more ground coming off the second corner than he does right here off of turn 4.
59 laps remaining, now 58. Kyle Busch, Todd Bodine, and remember, Ron Hornaday has won the 3 previous races to this one. No one has ever won 4 in a row, and he is that close right now to getting back out front.
And every single one of them on the going for 4 in a row has finished in the top 5 every single time.
Ron Hornaday strong once again.
Oh, sideways again.
Todd Bodine getting a little bit sideways, as does Colin Brown back there in 4th.
What a race! All 4 of these trucks racing for the lead.
And you want to know how competitive the Truck Series is? The guy running 5th in line there, oh, he's back in the 19th spot, but that's how fast he is.
Big time loose that time for Kyle Busch off of turn number 2. Big time wiggle.
Everybody can make it to the end on fuel, correct?
Yeah.
The only question is tires. How much they've worn out their tires and who's the best on them.
And I still believe over the 150, maybe as late as 160, these guys will consider, especially if they don't think they've got the truck to win with right now, they'll consider coming to pit road. It gets past 160, I think they're going to stick with what they got.
Yeah, I think it's too late now. I don't think we'll see these guys up front, Colin Brown and Ron Hornaday, the 2 guys that have tires left. As Todd Bodine gets completely up beside Kyle Busch, I don't think they're going to come to pit road. Ray, what's going on with Kyle Busch?
Right front tire, he said, is starting to chatter real bad like they had in the first practice, and he said, this is bad, guys. It's starting to bounce so much, I don't think I can hold this position. So Kyle Busch may be about ready to give up the lead.
Well, Todd Bodine looks like he has the advantage, and it looks like he's trying to pinch off that 51 of Kyle Busch. Todd Bodine trying to take the lead here at O'Reilly Raceway Park.
He's going to do it.
Just about has him cleared. He's got him cleared now. Todd's in the lead.
Todd Bodine looking for his first ever win on a short track. Could it happen tonight? He's going to try to hold off not only the 51, but the 33 of Ron Hornaday, looking to go 4 in a row.
Ooh, that's intense.
The action is heating up once again under the lights at O'Reilly Raceway Park. Take a deep breath. When we come back, more side-by-side, door-to-door racing.
The winningest driver in series history takes home the win here at the Milwaukee Mile.
Hornaday will come to the start-finish line and win his 2nd Elvis Trophy in Memphis.
Great job, Hornaday.
Hornaday will win again in Kentucky.
3 in a row for Ron Hornaday.
Looking to make it 4 in a row tonight. He is running 2nd. How has everyone else fared when they have won their 3 in a row? Well, top 5 finishes, but no one has won 4 in a row. Ron Hornaday runs 2nd. He's 4/10 of a second behind Todd Bodine here at O'Reilly Raceway Park. There's the difference between 1 and 2. Todd Bodine in the 30, just in front of Ron Hornaday in the 33.
We almost wrote Ron Hornaday off here about, 30, 40 laps ago. So, well, he's lost the lead now. He lost it on pit road. He can't keep up with Kyle Busch. He may be thinking about putting tires on. Now he's battling for the lead with Todd Bodine.
And look at his line. Todd's trying to squeeze down low. Ron says, if you want down low, that's fine. There's more room up here. I'm going to go around the outside. He's up beside the leader. Oh, he almost was up beside him.
Todd Bodine closes the door on Ron Hornaday. Here he goes to the bottom now. Hornaday looking at the inside of Todd Bodine. trying to take that lead away.
Hornaday knows he's got Todd Bodine beat right now. He's just so much faster. He'll be around him soon.
I wonder if Todd abused that truck trying to get by.
Well, we
Kyle
talked
Busch
about
when
that.
He ran on the bottom for so long, side by side so many times, a little bit sideways at times. Ron Hornaday's just been riding back there, caught the two while they were battling, and now he's looking to get by that 30 of Todd Bodine.
How about Colin Brown in the 6th, just behind these two? As these two battle for the lead, Colin Brown ready to strike once again and get another win. Kyle Busch is struggling, though. We see him on the left side of the screen. He's falling off the pace.
Ricky Carmichael will go by Kyle Busch right now. Remember, Kyle has no tires left in the pits. He's already put both his tires on, both his sets of tires on. So the caution flag's not going to save Kyle.
Oh, Hornaday gets really sideways on turn 4 there. Gives Colin Brown a chance to look to the inside.
Colin Brown trying to take second away from Hornaday, while Todd Bodine runs right in the middle of the racetrack.
Remember, we've talked about it before. This is not uncharted territory for Colin Brown. Sat on the pole last year for the nationwide race and finished second.
Got a crash on the front straightaway. TJ Bell's around.
TJ Bell in the 11, slow and stopped on the front stretch. The caution comes out for the 3rd time as trucks split him on either side.
He was able to stay on the lead lap. He was running in the 12th spot. Got spun around and maintained his spot on the lead lap.
Eric Almirola will get the Aaron's lucky dog, so fortunate for him, he's got such a good truck, and he does have another set of tires left, Michael.
Michael, here's that number. You mentioned 160 at the latest. We're right at that number.
Hornaday's not coming. I'm telling you, no way Hornaday's going to come and give up that track position.
But it'll be fun to watch Eric Almirola. We saw him running with the leaders. He's going to come in and get tires. He'll be able to make some progress up through this field.
Take a look at what took place with TJ Bell. Sideways there coming out of turn 4. Stalled just a bit.
It's pretty difficult to spin right where he did and not hit anything. TJ did a nice job keeping that thing out of the wall.
TJ will need another set of tires, as I'm sure he's flat spotted those. So he'll be on pit road. Here comes Eric Almirola, as you mentioned. Let's go down to pit road and Ray Dunlap.
Well, just to let you know, the tires they're going to put on this 51 are ones that they ran in practice. So Phil's exactly right. No new tires down here, but Kyle Busch said he just can't hang on to this truck with that right front as bad as it was. So they're going to change the tires out. We don't know if they'll be better, but they're going to change them. Crew goes around to the right side here on this Mikasuki Toyota. They'll put some tires on for Kyle, but he's going to have a lot of work to do to roll back through the field. And again, these are old tires. They're just replacing the ones he didn't like.
Eric Almirola's got some fresh tires and a free pass from Aaron's to get back on the lead lap.
Race off pit road, Eric Almirola, Taylor Balsam. Here comes Kyle Busch. Mike Skinner coming off of pit road just behind Busch. Todd Bodine and Ron Hornaday running 1 and 2. Colin Brown is 3rd. They stayed on the racetrack. Aaron's lucky dog goes to Eric Almirola. Welcome back. AAA Insurance 200 presented on speed by Valvoline. Mikey, look at this crowd.
Oh, I love it, Rick. Just pack your cooler, come out, sit on the bank, watch some awesome truck race action.
Restart with 35 laps of racing remaining. Todd Bodine just in front of that 33 of Ron Hornaday. We've had Skinner out front lead 61 laps. Kyle Busch led 49. Ron Hornaday led 35. Todd Bodine has led 19 and wants to add to that number. Coming out of turn number 4, we're back underway.
We watched Ron Hornaday devour the field last week in Kentucky on these restarts. He's up against Todd Bodine now late. Can he do it again?
That done it so far. Question, and he looked to the outside just for a moment. Now right in behind that 30 of Todd Bodine.
Remember, several trucks towards the back of the field came in and got fresh tires. The guys that didn't put them on the lap 39-40 caution.
Adam Alexander, what's Todd Bodine saying on the radio?
And under that last caution, the conversation between Todd Bodine and Mike Hillman Jr. was directed by the crew chief. He said on that last pit stop, there were some question marks as far as fueling the truck for Ron Hornaday. If he is to get around you, push him to the limit. Don't let him conserve and save fuel. And then he said, if you do your job, we won't have to worry about it. Bodine got it done on the restart.
You know, I think that race team, week in, week out, makes the best adjustments maybe than any other team in the circuit. There's been times when Todd's truck has been horrible, got lapped, got the lucky dog, and ends up in victory lane. Those guys can really adjust on that truck during the race. Here it goes, Hornaday.
Hornaday with the momentum through the center of the turns, not able to get to the outside of that 30. Gets right up to the back bumper of Todd Bodine, though.
Yeah, plus a quarter. Back bumper plus a quarter.
Looking at the outside once again. Bodine stays there. Bottom of the racetrack. He's got the outside. There goes Ron Hornaday. Hornaday takes away the top spot on his way to potentially his 4th win in a row in this truck series.
Ooh, Colin Brown wanted to get to the outside there. Didn't quite have room.
Hornaday looking to make history tonight.
Look at this mess. This is Skinner and Todd on, Skinner and Kyle on fresher tires, and that has just been the darndest race you've ever seen. Skinner's trying to get around Timothy Peters, who's rolling around a lap down.
Yeah, several of these trucks right here have some fresh tires. Great, what's Skinner saying?
Skinner wasn't sure whether to put on 2 tires or 4, and Eric Phillips made the call. We've got freshmen down there. They put 2 lap scuffs on that number 5 truck, and I'll tell you what, I think he's still got time to roll up to the front there. Skinner saying he really likes how his truck is on entry. Adam?
His teammate went right side tires as well. I'm talking about Taylor Malsom. He's had some adversity tonight, but the rookie has really done a nice job of battling back.
Colin Brown got to the outside of the 30. The 30 was coming up the racetrack, and that is why they got turned around. Todd Bodine into the wall and then slid across the front stretch. That brings out our 4th caution of the night.
Colin Brown had been working the outside of Todd Bodine and working him. Todd had crowded him out a couple of times, but that time Colin was far enough in there, he wasn't coming back out this late in the going.
Yeah, when Todd came up, they made the contact and it turned Todd into the outside wall.
Now we got to look at the front of the 6 to see if there's any damage, if he would have to come onto pit road, because the 30 did come around and hit that left front of the 6. So Colin Brown, who has had an extremely strong truck all night, now on the back bumper of our leader, Ron Hornaday.
Yeah, and I think Colin is definitely one of the better trucks in the field. I think even better than Hornaday, but he's got his work cut out for him now, Adam.
And on the radio, Colin Brown said that was about the 10th time he had chopped my nose. Colin obviously feeling like he's got a truck that can get it done. Meanwhile, the victim in this whole thing is Todd Bodine. You can see the damage, the focus right now on the right front. Their plan, come down and change right side tires as they have done. He will be back, I would guess, to change left side tires and continue to work on the damage. Meanwhile, it looks like that Conway Ford pretty clean. What are you guys seeing?
Yeah, it looks all right to me. I don't see any problem there. Check it out. This is after it's already happened. But Colin just was on the outside of Todd, and you're just not going to back out at that point.
Right along with Colin Brown.
He's going to get to the outside. Now watch, he's going to get that nose up outside of Todd's truck right there. Boy, he wasn't up there very far, Michael.
But you can't do that, Phil. With 20-some laps to go in a race, you're not going to be able to get away with that. I mean, you can try. You can bet that the guy will let you in, but he had his nose on the outside, and he just wasn't going to come out of the gas.
So Todd Bodine back on pit road. Again, working a little cosmetic damage to the right front of that truck. Got to back it up so it's inside the stall before they do any work on it. We'll be back for the restart here at O'Reilly Raceway Park. Welcome back. AAA Insurance 200 presented on speed by Valvoline. Just 23 laps remain when they come back to the stripe. And the reason why we're under caution, take a look.
Battling for the 2nd position. Colin Brown gets to the outside of our 2nd place truck, Todd Bodine, and Todd says, I think I need that space.
Yeah,
Colin Brown said, I've already got it.
Yeah, Colin said on the radio, he said that's about the 10th time that he cut over on my nose there. He wasn't that far up on him, but it was enough to get Todd turned into the outside wall. But you have to be aware that the guy's working you on the outside. Undoubtedly, the 30th Todd wasn't quite able to stay up the high side like the other guys were, and unfortunately, they made that contact. It's a shame, though. Todd did such a great job, but Timothy Peters gets the Aaron's lucky dog. Now he's back on the lead lap.
Here comes the field. Ron Hornaday in front of him. Green flag in the air.
Remember, there's some guys lurking that has some fresher tires. Mike Skinner being one of those guys. He looks to the inside of Ricky Carmichael.
He's to the inside of Carmichael and into the top 5 if he can get between Carmichael and Fontaine.
How about Matt Crafton running 3rd right now in that 88 Chevrolet?
Skinner has that 5th spot. Busch.
Look at that. That battle. Kyle Busch is on the inside of Crawford, diving low into the turns. He just drives down deep into the turns.
Kyle Busch running in the 7th spot. Crawford just behind him. There's the difference between 1 and 2. Hornaday and Colin Brown. 0.6 of a second separate those two. 21 laps remaining.
Skinner's in a battle for the 4th spot. He's just going to drive right by the 24 of David Starr and going after the 88. Mike Skinner, the last 4 times he's led the first 50 laps of a race, he didn't win it. He led over the first 50 this time. He's going to try to change that.
Oh, and he's cleared Matt Crafton and is up to the 3rd spot. Still got 20 laps to work on these guys, and wow, is he fast.
We wrote him off. Do you remember that? He said he fell all the way back to 8th. He's out of contention. Now he's going for it with fresh tires.
Here comes David Starr trying to put Matt Crafton back a spot. Crafton fighting for a championship, trying to be consistent this year. Came into this with a 96-point deficit to Ron Hornaday. Hornaday looking to rewrite the record books tonight if he can win for the 4th time.
Remember that 15 red top auto auction truck on the inside, Eric Almirola. He has fresh tires. Dennis Setzer has fresher tires than a lot of these guys.
3 wide at ORP. There's a cornfield to the right, guys. You better hang on. And Mike Skinner ran the fastest lap on the track last time by. He's going to be on Colin Brown's bumper in a lap or 2. And you remember, Phil, when the race started, he was lightning fast for the short haul. 40 or 50 laps, he was the man. He's got that short haul truck, and I think he's got a chance to win this race.
What great racing back here. 2 wide, 3 wide.
Mike Skinner charging toward the front, Ray.
And Rick, I looked at the points after 12 races across all of the championship years of this Camping World Truck Series, and the most points anyone's overcome was 103 to go on to win the championship. And coming into tonight's race, Skinner was 154 out. I went and showed him those stats, and he said, Ray, you can throw all that stuff in the trash. He said, the way this racing is today and with the new pit road rules, each and every week, you never know who's going to get up front, and you never know what's going to happen over the course of the rest of this season. So he said, don't worry about those points. We're going to keep going out there, do the best we can. We're not giving up on a championship this season. Adam?
Ray, how would you like to be Colin Brown right now in between 2 hungry veterans in Skinner and Hornaday? And he should feel comfortable in this situation. The reason why, the truck he's driving tonight, the same one Travis Quapple took to victory lane in Memphis 2 years ago, and now trouble on the track.
Ricky Carmichael
into the wall.
Sure enough, into the wall. That will bring her caution out one more time. Mike Skinner was on the inside of the 6, about to take the position away. They're going to have to go back to loop data to find out if he had made that pass already.
Yeah, and this is horrible for Mike Skinner. He needs those green flag laps. We're going to have to look at the track. We're going to maybe run several laps under caution. That's just less time for him to get up there. There's Ricky Carmichael into the outside wall, bringing out the caution.
5th caution of the night. Now it sets up for a great restart. Hornaday, Colin Brown, and Mike Skinner. AAA Insurance 200 presented on speed by Valvoline. Under the lights, short track racing from O'Reilly Raceway Park. The 5th caution comes out because of Ricky Carmichael getting into the wall, but he had a little help.
Yeah, here's Rick Crawford going to try to get a run on Ricky Carmichael when they get, there's a little bump right there and they get down in the corner. Just a little bit of contact and it sends Ricky in the corner just a little harder than he could make it into the outside wall.
I bet you Ricky thought that was a whole lot of contact.
Yeah.
They were still going straight and he started getting beat on, and he didn't have a chance of making that corner.
Right along with Ricky.
You can see there's a big gap between those 2 trucks, and Rick's closing on him pretty good.
You heard Ricky, he was off the throttle a little bit when he got off the corner. That's what allowed Rick to gain on him so much.
Ray Dunlap, Rick Wren's got some important actions taking place now. Can he get that next win?
Rick going for 4 in a row tonight, but if you told Hornaday how fast Skinner's coming through the field?
Yeah, he knows he's coming pretty hard. With 10 laps to go, I mean, Skinner's coming pretty hard. I don't know that we can hold him off. I just want to thank the VFW and all the supporting troops around the world. We've made a pretty good hard charge at this 4 in a row. It's not over yet, but Skinner's coming pretty hard.
All right, and Rick just told me a moment ago, he says, you got to worry about big wreck at the end of this thing, too. Points are important, so Hornaday's aware of just how fast that 5 truck is, guys.
Man, the 5 was down on the inside of Brown. If he could have finished that pass and been on his bumper right now.
The final 10 laps. Green flag back in the air. Hornaday in front of Colin Brown and Mike Skinner. Skinner hard charging to the inside of Colin Brown.
He's wasting no time. He knows he needs to get by Colin Brown to give him more time to work on Hornaday.
Side by side, those two battling. Dennis Setzer just behind them.
And oh, by the way, he's running fourth.
Dennis Setzer's taking fourth away. Colin Brown now drops back to third. Mike Skinner running second, trying to chase down that 33 of Ron Hornaday. Skinner wants to be the spoiler tonight.
Michael, you said lap 160 was the last possible instant you could get new tires. That's when they got it, lap 161. There's new tires on the 8, there's new tires on the 15, and they're marching towards the front as well as the 5.
How does Dennis Setzer do it? Every time he qualifies near the back of the field, he races around the middle of the field until they get ready to open the pay window. And here he comes.
Skinner had a look to the inside of Ron Hornaday. Hornaday's going to keep that outside groove. Skinner's been really good on the inside with those fresher tires.
Skinner and Hornaday. It doesn't get any better than this in the trucks.
Skinner moving to the inside, looking to the inside. Now just 7 laps of racing to go. Can Hornaday hold him off?
And I think Mike Skinner needs all 7 of them, Phil. We don't need to see a caution, or he doesn't need to see a caution.
Hornaday stays to the outside. Can Skinner make the pass? He gets out of the gas a little bit earlier. Hornaday stays in the gas, the momentum. Can he hold on? One more time, he goes across the start-finish line, your leader.
He's got to do that 12 more times, 6 more laps, and he's got to do it on each end of the racetrack.
Ron Hornaday trying to stay in front of Mike Skinner. How close can Hornaday come to getting 4 in a row? Or will he get that magic number? 4 wins in a row. It's never been done before. He holds on another lap. 5 to go here at O'Reilly Raceway Park.
There have been 5 other guys try to win 4 in a row.
Well, Skinner's all up beside him now. Look at, he still kept his nose up beside his quarter panel. He's a little bit better than in 3 and 4 than he is in 1 and 2.
And look who's coming behind him. Here comes Setzer and Almirola making a 4-way battle for the lead.
Here comes Dennis Setzer. Eric Almirola also getting fresh tires, and he is right in the mix.
Watch Setzer now. If Skinner goes to the inside, he's going to try to close that hole up on the outside.
Hornaday staying in front of Mike Skinner. When they come by the next time, it'll be just 3 laps of racing to go. Can Hornaday hold on?
God, this is frustrating for Skinner, having the truck to get beside Hornaday, but not enough to get past him. And knowing that if he slips at all or makes a calculated error, Setzer and Almirola is going to be all over him.
Almirola now goes after Setzer on the inside. They make a little contact.
The battle for third continues. Eric Almirola to the inside of the 8 of Dennis Setzer. Hornaday trying to hold on. Here comes Skinner once again to the inside. A hard charge. They're side by side at the stripe. 2 laps of racing to go. Into the lap traffic. The white flag is in the air.
They're side by side coming to the checkered flag.
They pulled the white flag back. The leader had given the flagman had given the white flag, but they pulled it back.
We saw him throw the white flag, and now they're going to throw it one more time. This is it. Final lap at O'Reilly Raceway Park. Ron Hornaday in front of Mike Skinner. Here comes Eric Almirola on the inside of the 8 of Dennis Setzer. Can Hornaday do it? Can he make history? And can Skinner be the spoiler? 1 turn remaining.
Norm Benning can be a bit of a pick for Hornaday, but he's not even going to need that, I don't think, Phil.
To the outside, Hornaday will set a record. 4 in a row in the Camping World Truck Series.
What a race, huh?
What a job. And Eric Almirola got that 3rd spot from Setzer for a best career finish.
Is that how you want to win your 4th in a row?
I'll tell you what, I think the flag stand was even a little bit crazy there because they had thrown the white flag a lap early.
I know, I watched the white flag fight. There were 2 to go, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. The flagman usually knows what the story is.
What an unbelievable night for not only Ron Hornaday, but also a record-setting night, a record-tying night for Rick Wren. Let's go down to Ray Dunlap.
Yeah, very satisfying in every direction. 4 in a row and win 26 for you. Congratulations. What an unbelievable season you guys are putting together.
I'm going to tell you what, my guys just don't give up, but I'm going to tell you what, the guy that drives that thing right there, he doesn't lay down for a moment. I'm telling you, Skinner was coming hard. That's all Ron Hornaday made that happen right there. My guys did a great job today. Went through adversity. Typical day at IRP. It's a struggle here. It's an awesome racetrack. It's tough to tame. I don't know what to say.
I think you got a pretty nice notebook on that new truck, too.
Heck yeah, hey, that's right. Just in case we need it later in the year.
All right, Rick Wren getting win number 26, tying Dennis Conner. He's at the top of the list for crew chiefs in the Camping World Truck Series.
Ron Hornaday headed to victory lane. Second in the points, Matt Crafton finishes in 16th. So Matt Crafton tying his worst finish of the 2009 season. Guess who moves into second in the points battle? Mike Skinner battling for the win, but it was Ron Hornaday. 4 in a row in the Camping World Truck Series. Welcome back to O'Reilly Raceway Park. The 51-year-old Ron Hornaday continues to set and extend records. His 44th Camping World Truck Series victory. And there he is in victory lane. Let's go to Ray Dunlap.
Well, the 44 is pretty significant. The 44 is pretty significant on the wins, Ron, but how about 4 in a row? Here's wife Lindy over here for a kiss. Never been done before in series history. You got 4 in a row. How do you guys do it?
Kevin DeLana, that's all you can say. Just giving us quit. Another brand new truck, and Skinner had tires. I didn't think I had them, but I got to thank VFW, Longhorn, Hungry Man, Classic Pickles. I get to run them tomorrow. That's going to be fun. I tell you, Mark Smith and them guys working on these motors, I really got to thank them. And just all the guys back at the shop, every one of these guys right here. 4 in a row, man, that's cool. 3's been done, and to do this says a lot. And I tell you, Colin Brown, I thought he was going to win this thing. He was a better truck. He rolled the center better, and Skinner put tires on, and I don't know how he held him off. I got to thank him for such a clean race, and he definitely had a better truck towards the end. But Kevin DeLana, this one's for you guys. This is cool.
And Ron, great side-by-side racing all night tonight here at this racetrack. Did you know that Skinner was coming as fast as he was?
Yeah, yeah. He put tires on. I said, well, can we come in and put tires on with 6 to go? But it's an awesome night. I know I'm forgetting everybody. Rick Corelli, Goodyear brought a brand new tire, awesome tire. This says a lot for this truck series. We didn't have the best truck, but I tell you what, I wanted that 4th one so bad. It's cool. And old Ricky Carmichael over there, he told me you can get 4 at 4. He said the 3rd one's the toughest. He said in motocross you do that, but.
Oh, Crawford comes in with a little congratulations too. But I'll tell you what, Ron, I hope you have a little bit of time to savor this, because it really is quite an occasion, and the momentum that you guys have put together with this team, something we haven't seen in a long, long time.
Well, I'm going to keep taking my hats off to Kevin DeLana. I just got to thank them, Fred. Everybody back at the shop is working hard to get these sponsors, and there's a lot of them. I know I'm missing some Coparts. A VFW again, and this is just a lot of fun, and just to see how everything's working. Kevin DeLana working so hard to keep everybody together, and just helping all these other trucks out. I think we got 9 trucks. They put bodies on and do that stuff. So this just says a lot for KHI. Kevin and DeLana just really built a program up where it's a lot of fun to race and a lot of fun to drive their stuff. Everybody says, anybody get tired of this? When you win 4 in a row, you can't get tired of nothing. This is our vacation, my wife and mine, and we're just having a blast.
Well, congratulations. Enjoy it with the crew. They've won 5 races this season in 4 different trucks. That just shows you how great KHI is. And now let's go to the other end of pit road and Adam Alexander.
And Mike Skinner, a runner-up tonight, but a great pit call by Eric Phillips. Got you the tires. You had a great rally going. Take us through the closing laps.
I'll tell you, I could have hit him. I ain't made like that. Ronnie's a friend of mine, and he might have done it to me, but it's all right. When I shave in the morning, I'll like who I see. Had a great Tundra, Exide batteries. Start positive, stay positive. I don't want to give a negative interview because we finished second. I don't like to finish second any more than anybody else does, but it was a good night, good points night. We led a couple laps, and I just can't thank PC Myler, Exide batteries, Toyota, all my sponsors, Justin Boots and Easy Go Golf Carts. We've just had a great relationship for many, many years with a lot of people, and we still got a lot of fire in our belly. We're not throwing in the towel.
You talked about second in or the point situation. You guys are up to second now. Back-to-back runner-up finishes, Mike. What about the momentum you have at this stage?
Well, Eric Phillips is doing one heck of a job, and I heard Chris Showalter say something a little while ago, and I just wanted to hug him. But he said, "Man, we ever get any money, we're going to be tough. We're going to be dangerous." And this team is way underfunded. We're very, very grateful for our sponsors that we have, but you know, we're running on 6 cylinders. We get them other two cylinders to get up to 8 cylinders like everybody else, we're going to be okay.
Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you, man.
Six-time Ron Hornaday and Skinner have finished 1, 2, and, oh, by the way, second in a row. Going for 4 in a row, it has happened. Ron Hornaday makes history. 2009 is the year. 4, and well, could he make it 5 now?
I certainly wouldn't put it past him.
Our next trip will be to Nashville, and Ron Hornaday should be the favorite.
The desire and passion he's driven that truck with at Kentucky and here tonight, I wouldn't put it past him either.
Hey, that's the 5th race in a row here at ORP that the winner was over the age of 45 years old. 5 in a row.
Impressive, and the statistic stays the same. No one has ever won this race outside the top 8. Ron Hornaday starting this race in 4th. There's Kevin and Delana.
You heard him talking about the way that Kevin and Delana, just think about Ricky Carmichael, sending him up to Kentucky to practice in an ARCA car, a brand new truck here at ORP. Obviously, Kevin and Delana has given Ron everything this team needs.
Rick Pirelli standing just behind them. A lot of celebration. It'll continue through the evening, and then Ron's got to go back to work tomorrow. He'll run a nationwide car on this very racetrack. We'll see how well he continues the momentum in that series. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed is presented to you by Valvoline. Valvoline is the only motor oil that guarantees your engine for up to 300,000 miles. Register at Valvoline.com. Brought to you by Chrysler and by Royal Purple. Visit RoyalPurple.com to find a dealer near you. Take a look at our point standings. We talked about a change up top. Ron Hornaday still holding the top spot, but second now is held by Mike Skinner. So Skinner looking to battle with Ron Hornaday once again.
But look at that lead for Hornaday, 174 points, and I believe that's the most points ever lead with 12 races to go.
Previously in 2007, Skinner over Hornaday by 164 points.
And by the way, Hornaday came back and won that championship.
That was overcome. Hornaday continues to add to his trophy case. A little more hardware for that team. Let's go back down trackside to Adam Alexander.
Eric Almirola with his 3rd consecutive top 5 finish. Not that you haven't earned the past 2, but you really had to work for this one.
Oh yeah, man, I think we had a right front tire going down there in the beginning of the race, but we got really, really tight and lost the lap, and I was so disappointed, but I knew we had a good enough truck to just not give up. And we come in and got tires, and I could keep up with the leaders there when we were lapped down, and we got the lucky dog, and we come in and got 4 tires, and man, tires were huge tonight. So really proud of Richie Waters and everybody on these Billy Blue Motorsports trucks, man. They give me awesome trucks every week, and it's a lot of fun to race here. So I want to thank Red Top Auto Auction for coming on board this weekend, and every dollar helps. So we're looking for sponsors, and we appreciate all their help.
We see you next week?
Oh yeah.
All right, Eric Almirola in the 15 again after another solid run.
Well, let's hear from Colin Brown. He started on the pole tonight and a top 5 finish. Are you satisfied with your run here at ORP?
Well, you know, not really. I feel like we had a really good truck there in the middle of the race, and at the end, my crew chief decided to stay out, which I think was the right call. Ron Hornaday won the race on old tires, and I think I just got out experience. You know, I don't have a lot of short track experience here or anywhere really, and I just feel like I need to, you know, keep working on my short track stuff, but certainly getting to run with those guys, Hornadays and Skinners and Dennis Setzers, teaches you a lot. And, you know, I feel like our number 6 Carmichael 4F-150 truck was fast. We just, you know, at the end, I guess I just got outfoxed.
You get to play a little bit here tomorrow too, right?
Yeah, I'll be practicing and maybe qualifying Carl Edwards' nationwide car. So definitely excited about that, and, you know, should be a fun race.
All right, that is Colin Brown, and he finishes 5th tonight here at ORP, guys.
What a great attitude by Colin Brown. He said, I just got outdrove. I have very little experience, and I'm racing with Dennis Setzer and Ron Hornaday and Mike Skinner, and what a great attitude, and that's why he's such a talent in this sport.
Yeah, biggest names in the truck series right there, and he's
and you know,
rubbing elbows.
He also said, I'm going to stand my ground. I mean, they might out talent me right now because I don't have the experience, but they're not going to push me around. He had a run on Todd Bodine. He said, I can't give this up now, and I respect him for the way he races, and I also appreciate his attitude. That was really refreshing.
It's becoming old hat for this team, and
That never
victory
gets
lane.
old, does it, Phil?
Never, ever.
20th short track win for Ron Hornaday. That's the most of all time. Continues to add to the record books. Ron Hornaday. Let's take a look at tonight's Stay in the Game with Just for Men hair color moment. The drop of the green flag, it was Mike Skinner who was able to get out front and led 61 laps of this race from the very beginning.
But then from lap 62 to lap 80-some, he fell back almost outside the top 10.
Thought he had, well, pretty much ended his night, but guess what? He stayed in the game, and this is the end.
Yeah, Eric Phillips this weekend made a great call, put tires on lap 161, and he almost got there to get that win away from Ron Hornaday.
Stay in the game with Just for Men hair color.
I kind of hand it to you, Phil. You said they couldn't pit after lap 160 and win. You were right.
Let's take a look at our unofficial results. Ron Hornaday with the victory. Mike Skinner finishing second. Eric Almirola with a career best finish tonight.
And he needs to thank Aaron's. He got a lucky dog. Aaron's just put him back in the game.
And how about Dennis Setzer? We know when we come to a short track, he's going to contend. He didn't look like it. For 3/4 of the night, he didn't look like he was anywhere in contention.
We know he's going to contend, but we never figure out how he's going to do it. And, I mean, tonight was an example of that. What an amazing performance by him and that team.
Matt Crafton all the way back in the 16th position. Caitlin Shaw, her first start, finished the race after having a little bit of problems.
Go ahead, show off. Say his name.
Desir?
Yeah, thank you.
Brandon Desir. Let's go back trackside to Adam Alexander.
And the Battle Back Award tonight goes to this guy, Dennis Setzer. You guys worked hard on the race truck. You get those tires at the end, and what a finish.
Yeah, Randy Dean and all the MRD guys, they done a great job. Kept adjusting that thing, kept freeing it up in the center all night long. Kept getting a little better, and then we got those tires and really set on fire. Great job by these guys. I appreciate Dave Malcolmson with MRD bringing us to another race here. He's still funding this thing out of his pocket. He keep saying a week at a time. So maybe this week will get us a couple more races. A couple second places got us 3 races each time we got second. So maybe fourth can get us 2 or something. So, I really appreciate the opportunity and what Dave's done with his team.
How gratifying is it, Dennis? Because you don't have the financing of some of the other teams, but as you said, you guys have been very competitive lately.
Yeah, Dave doesn't shortcut anything, but you just have a little more testing you could probably do if you had the extra financing and stuff. And he's got a great team assembled right here. Great employees right there. They do a good job. Randy Dean runs a tight ship. We just need a little more testing and stuff like that. Could get us right up front racing this way every week.
Top 5 for Dennis Setzer.
Another impressive run as he comes home in the 4th spot. Colin Brown is 5th. Take a recap of what took place here on the short track.
Very early on, Mike Skinner takes the lead as we talked about earlier, led the first 60-some laps.
Look at all those fans packed in this place to check out this action. Caitlin Shaw early in the going gets spun around there in turn 4.
Backs it into the wall, but they do a little bit of work in the back of that. She gets back on the track. Hornaday decides, I'd like to get out front.
This was the beginning of the fall from what looked like a chance to even finish in the top 5 for Mike Skinner. He fell all the way back to the 8th spot.
Lap 92, Jason White put a little fluid on the racetrack. That brought out our second caution of the evening. Caleb Balsam on the same caution. The right front tire goes down.
And he fights back to a 7th place finish at the end.
Pit stops. Ron Hornaday looking to add a little more fuel. They tell him to stop. He stops. He goes back out, loses a spot or 2 there.
Remember, that's lap number 95, 96.
Top 9, Kyle Busch battling.
We had great battles the entire night, side by side, 3 wide, all over the racetrack.
On 159, the 11th of TJ Bell gets turned around on the front stretch.
I think he blew a right rear tire.
And then these guys had a decision to make. Do we come in or do we not?
The lead change. Todd Bodine was out front. Hornaday decides it's time. I'm going to take it. See if anyone can catch me.
Colin Brown works to the outside of Todd Bodine, then makes some contact and turns Todd into the outside wall, brings out the caution.
Hard into that wall.
Yep.
A couple of times.
Serious damage. Lap 185. Ricky Carmichael just in front of Rick Crawford. Crawford a little impatient.
Running in the top 10 all night long, winds up crashed finishing 19th did Ricky Carmichael.
The battle for the lead. It took about 11 laps for them to decide who was going to win this one.
It was so fun, though, right?
Yeah, great battle. They never were nose to tail, I don't think, the entire lap. In the last 10 or 11 laps, they were at least side by side, and Skinner hard on the throttle, not quite able to get it done.
And side by side for the third, fourth spot, too.
First driver in the Camping World Truck Series history to win 4 races.
Well, the 44 is...
It's fun to see history made. We just got a chance to do that.
And you witnessed it right here on Speed. Another top 10 finish for Taylor Malsom. Let's go down to Ray Dunlap.
Yeah, we got to find out what happened out there tonight. Keeping tires on this 81's been tough the last couple of weeks, but what happened to you tonight?
We were just trying to blaze the top when we got a little tight there, and I think we just ran over something, cut the right front tire down. But Doug and these guys did an awesome job of getting it back out there and making a 7th place finish out of it. I'm happy how it went.
What do you think about this racetrack?
Oh, it's fun. I don't know. It's just cool how you can run top and bottom on a short track and rub and race like that. I mean, it's just awesome. It's like being a big track and a short track at the same time. It's really cool.
All right, got another top 10 for Taylor Malsom tonight. These guys just keep on digging through the adversity. Adam?
And entering tonight, we called Matt Crafton Mr. Consistency. Unfortunately, not the finish you would have liked at O'Reilly Raceway Park. Take us through the closing laps and the difference on the 88.
Like I said, guys, I got big shoulders. Just made the mistake we talked about coming down pit road, going down the front straightaway, and I just followed the leaders right by the pit road. And my truck was good on a short run. It'd go for 10 laps, and it would just fall off real bad. And I made the mistake. I got big shoulders, and I hate it for the team because I made the mistake going by pit road and didn't get tires. And like I said, it happens.
We talked before this race about how hard this team has worked, only to come up short in the title chase going after Hornaday and all the success they have had. Talk about the focus as we go down the stretch and you continue in this points battle.
We just got to keep doing what we're doing. And we've been so good on our intermediate track stuff. Our short track stuff we went tested this week, and we thought we made some progress. And we made our stuff go on a short run, but it wasn't as good on the long run. But we just got to work on that a little bit more, and hopefully we'll be able to keep up with 33 and stuff on these short tracks. But I think, next week when we go to Nashville, we'll be just fine. Like I said, our intermediate stuff's pretty good. So just got to shrug it off on Sunday.
See you in Music City.
All right, see you there.
Matt Crafton with, tying his worst finish of the 2009 season with a 16th place finish. Hornaday leads the points. He's finished 26th and 19th. All the rest are top 10s. Can Ron Hornaday keep the momentum going from the short track of O'Reilly Raceway Park to Nashville Super Speedway? Saturday, August 1st, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And the Toyota Tundra 200 is going to be a great one.
Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee. We're having a little bit of a fun here in the middle of the country.
He can keep going. Let's hear from Kevin Harvick.
Well, Kevin, you've got some pretty cool trophies in your trophy case, and Hornaday's won a bunch of them, but never 4 in a row. You got to be awfully proud of this team.
I am. It's amazing to see Ron do what he does in the truck, and he really makes us all look good. Ren and all the guys do a great job, but in the end, Ron is the one who closes the deal and makes it happen. So it's fun to watch. Ron's obviously a great friend of mine and been a friend for a long time, and just enjoy being a part of all his success.
How old are you now?
I'm 33 the last I checked, but...
are you going to be racing that hard when you're 51?
I told you when we got here, I said Hornaday and Mark Martin are giving hope for all the old guys, and we might drag a few out of retirement. I don't know where Dick Trickle and some of these guys are, but I did see Ruttman at the track. So, but it's just fun to watch these guys race, and Ron just seems like he gets better and better.
We read some stuff last week that you said you were all set with your nationwide program for next season. Where are you stand right now for 2010 in truck racing?
Well, right now we're going forward with our truck teams just like they are. Our plan is to just keep doing everything that we're doing. So we're pretty close to being set on the nationwide car, and Ron's truck is really close. So we're just in the middle of the year trying to tie up a lot of loose ends. It's different than it has been in the past, but right now the program's solid and going forward.
All right, congratulations. Go win the Brickyard 400. Kevin Harvick, it's a great night tonight as Hornaday gets 4 in a row. Guys?
Kevin Harvick on his way to being a championship owner again with Ron Hornaday. Kevin and Delana Harvick. We take a look at our unofficial point standings. A little bit of shuffling there. Skinner has moved up, as well as David Starr.
Yeah, David Starr up into the top 5. Nice solid year for that Jim Harris team.
And Dennis Setzer also moving up a spot into the 8th position. Again, a great finish for Dennis Setzer here on a short track. What an evening at O'Reilly Raceway Park. Under the lights, and it did not disappoint. Coming up next is trackside from the big track over at Indianapolis. It was Ron Hornaday coming out of turn 4 and was able to hold off Mike Skinner for 4 in a row in the Truck Series.
Pull out your cowboy hat and dust off your 6-string. The trucks are heading to Nashville. With no past winners in the field, who will be picking in Victory Lane next week? Catch the setup live at 7:30, followed by racing from Music City, USA. Only on Speed. Be there.